Pengu, I know you've got a favourite horse in this race. Obviously, PSG Talon, your homies. But it's not going to be a cut and dried game for them. SCARZ, despite not being quite at the level that they were in the past, they have actually had a surprisingly solid campaign so far through APAC North in the regular stage. And as you pointed out, had they just got one more regulation win, they would have actually made it into the top 2.
Yeah, I think it was the beautiful Aussie podcast duo kind of speaking in favor of SCARZ, saying, yeah, they aren't like, they're in the bottom of the playoff standings, but they had some 5-7 losses, very small things didn't go their way. It could have been a very different scenario. If you're PSG going into this, you cannot underestimate SCARZ just because they're at the bottom of the leaderboard. You have to take every single match serious because both of these teams have something to prove. But if you are seeded better, you cannot just look down and go, these guys are worse than me, we're gonna beat them easily. And I also think for SCARZ, they got a really good second map coming up in Bank, which will get played regardless of the first map result. So PSG ideally really gotta win Clubhouse. We see what happens on Bank, and worst case, we go to Laps as that third map. Yep. SCARZ will start on defense. It goes a double shield ban, James. That's kind of like out there. That's happening a lot these days. Shields are very strong. But Blackbeard is staying in the mix, and when you're playing Clubhouse, having that extra set of free grenades on the Blackbeard, not having to go for a sledge or a finger or something like that, does give you a little bit more self-destruction on the attacking side.
Yeah, and of all the shields, obviously Blackbeard is the one with the most firepower. He can turn into a quote-unquote normal operator with the rifle, unlike your Blitz and your Monty, which are a little bit more passive. I mean, Blitz obviously very melee-focused, Monty very position information-focused. Soldier's got a real gun in his hands, and Wreck at the moment has an impact grenade. Primed and ready for a cheeky run out. I assume one of his teammates is checking. No one's on cams for him, so he must be doing this purely on audio.
They're watching it.
Yeah, wow. That is quite a read from PSG. I don't know if they had info that he had crossed, or if that was just purely doing the due diligence and being careful about every possible run out, but that is a freebie very early on.
It's a very big one as well because, mind you, what SCARZ wanted to do in this round is play a player on the main stairs that's fish-like. Then you have Reg inside a strip that's playing that Scopus operator that can teleport back towards the bomb site if the pressure is too much. They have now taken away that first step, and you only have the main stairs players remaining. And they can't be as aggressive now because there's no sense of crossfire, there's no flank potential from the Scopos, so this first part of the strat for SCARZ has not worked out. PSG, they are ahead of the curve. But whenever we're looking at these roam clearing rounds, we're always looking at the clock, right? 1 minute, 45 seconds left. They're in bar. They got top floor. They got open and kill. And in a moment's notice, they will start opening up those hatches with a Kaid ban on the board as well. That means there's no real hatch deny here. There's not even any impact grenades left for SCARZ either. Wow. So PSG now have a lot of time to work with to figure out what the correct execute will be. Yeah. Right now it's Soldier, Blackbeard inside a dirt tunnel. I believe he's completely alone, so he is going to have to be forced into a 1v1 gunfight.
That said, what's short on the other side is the smoke, so he can continue to throw gases, try and whittle away at the HP here as Soldier, who just falls on back. He's dispatched with the barbed wire. Now there's some support with Gotti as well, going dirt. PSG have made excellent timing. Look at all those hatches open. So many avenues towards the side. But we need to see them actually putting pressure on these players on the objective. Speaking of pressure, Choppy actually walks all the way up the main stairs. There's so much vert, so many opportunities to punish him, and yet PSG have slowed down a little bit.
That and Fishlike is beneath the kitchen hatch on the soft floor as well, and they haven't found out these player positions. They might be caught off guard, but look at the attention changed elsewhere. With Dirt and a big focus on Blue, this might be a backstab instead. Look, Bicol goes out. They gotta push soon.
Well, at least they do find the kills needed. Ayagator now getting aggressive. Wants to try and retake into Blue, worried about the Blackbeard, but Gotti is there to support from behind. All up to Choppy now, and he's taken out. Wow. It was a bit of a slow mid-round for PSG, but an early advantage and a quick execute at the end of the round. That's them a flawless start to this map.
And you can tell SCARZ, they had a very clear game plan in mind right now, which was to disrupt the execute from PSG. Choppy pushing up the main staircase, still staying aggressive inside of dirt tunnel, playing in strip, going for a quote-unquote run out or a spawn peek. They didn't want PSG to reach the bomb site with enough attackers alive where they will feel comfortable going for a proper execute. And that's kind of what I love about Clubhouse. There's kind of two ways to play it out, both in terms of playstyle on the map, but also in the operator ban phase selection. For example, if you end up banning the Bandit and the Kaid, is to simplify the hard breaching on the wall for the attackers. That's because hard breaching is the first step on every single bomb site. In basement, gotta get those hatches, and on gym and CCTV, it's about getting those exterior walls. Then, for the defenders, you can either ban hard breaching operators, because then you make that more difficult for the attackers. You can ban utility, which I mean like the Ying, the Grim, the Capital, things that simplify going for an execute or clearing those strong player positions. Or, in the more modern era of the game, you also have the shields, the Blitz and the Monty. The thing is, when SCARZ go for a double shield ban, you are leaving up so many other operators and other categories, whereas you're doubling down instead of spreading it across the board. You could ban, for example, Monty and a Capital, or Blitz and a Grim, or Blackbeard and a Ying, and you kind of target in two separate areas. SCARZ don't want to deal with the shields, that's very evident, but it is leaving now everything else open. And PSG in the second round, they're playing the Grim, they're playing the Capital, they're playing the Deimos and double hard breaching, and there is no wall deny. There's a mirror window, there is a 2-bar canister that can slow things down, but these walls will pop open at some point.
There's just not a lot of teeth to this defense, is there? The Clash is nice in theory, but look how passively we've seen this hold of Rafters. It's already a retreat. Even on CCTV, they're retreating. They're looking to try and get all the way back to gym and bedroom and play off site. It will be a very much bunker-centric setup from SCARZ, which is okay if you whittle down the clock enough. If you force PSG into late-round problem-solving of things like the mirror window, like that Clash, potentially the Warden in a power position. But PSG are once again making very early timing in the early parts of this round.
So nice C4 tossed out there from Reg, but doesn't find anybody. And I will say PSG sometimes have this bad habit of dying early in the round, but they're staying very far back until everybody is ready to go. 2 people on Rafters, 1 by CCTV Breach. Jumpy and Reg are holding on for now. Fish like another fire.
Oh, what's that?
A flank denied again. PSG playing so slow with the flank drones, getting 3 kills. Reg trades it back, Jumpy with a second.
Yeah, a little bit of re-aggression down through Lounge doesn't hurt here for SCARZ. However, as the fire comes out, 2 of these players for the Japanese are trapped on the wrong side of the map. A big jump out for Washoi as he looks to support his teammate, but it's all up to Fishlike. Now, the key here is he needs to make sure that they don't know where he is, but it looks like the jig is up, and PSG are fully aware that Clash was on the other side of the map, so they flood the site. That's a very quick flip of the switch. Fishlike peeking now at the SMG, but he's been spotted. Didn't have the shield out, didn't have the foresight for it, and a very nice pivot in the late round for PSG. Steals the site from SCARZ.
It's a huge 4K for Ryder, and I think SCARZ actually might have mistimed the flank just a little bit, but I'm not sure who's to be blamed here. So you had a player in basement climbing that garage ladder, going for the flank, died immediately, and what I'm expecting is for the remaining defenders, by the bomb site, by Cash, to lash out aggressively at the same time, but I believe there's about a 2-second gap. The guy flanking garage died very, very early, 2 seconds go by, and then the action happens elsewhere. And it gave PSG enough time for Ryder to get the flank person, turn his body all the way around, and then trade his teammates. And because the attackers got the very first kill, they always had numbers advantage. That's why they ended up in a 2 versus 1. Whereas if SCARZ got the opening kill and then the trading had happened, it would have been the flip side. SCARZ would be in a 2 versus 1 situation. So when you're going for these all-in plays, what SCARZ did, and I think it was a good play, just a little bit mistimed, it's very, very important to see who gets that opening pick. PSG good for 2, SCARZ, as you said, playing very passive until they don't. They definitely have teeth, but maybe not so much in the setup, more so in when they want to lash out and when they want to go on the offense.
Yeah, and Pengu speak about opening picks. As Jake said on the desk, SCARZ is the best team at getting opening kills in APAC North at 55%. PSG the worst, down at 41. Not the trend that we've seen so far, with PSG finding the opening kill in the first 2 rounds, both times untraded by SCARZ. And yes, while we did see a temptation of a spawn pick there from the defense, nothing netted as of yet. And PSG, again, looking very confident and slow in the start of this round. Likely to make quick work of this wall. Start pushing towards a little bit of map control. That Impact actually doesn't even find anything. So quite a disappointment. The second impact does land, but Ryder has plenty more Selmas to go. And there are no more impact grenades on the defense for SCARZ.
And you see the respect that PSG are paying towards SCARZ. They are droning garage, they're holding the door, run out, they're playing this very slow, very methodical. They're expecting them to lash out and keep up the aggression. And we're seeing SCARZ as well. They are trying to, but because they've gotten punished in the first 2 rounds, they can't get too overzealous here. And they're going out, not towards a player, but where they think one might be by that window in garage. But he's by Catwalk Rafters number 2 instead. And that's going to be the first step maybe for the clear here. On mine magnets. Is there enough utility now for PSG to go for this? They have 2 flashbangs and Capital Fire and Capital Smoke.
No, I don't.
This might need to be a pivot and going elsewhere. Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, they've burned
Unless
2 nades.
they get a free pick.
They don't have a shield aside from the Blackbeard as well. I mean, I think it's going to be quite challenging for them to get this Blackbeard up the stairs. You know, Monty is much better for a shield counter to this Raptors position. Rek has found Misa. Thankfully, Misa already used his grenades, so not as much of a loss, but still pretty valuable. Rek can retreat back as well. If PSG are to take control of Rafters here, the key is to lock down the bottom of Garage and then take out as many magnets as they can and then burn the ADSs, 2 of which are now burnt, and the fire needs to come in now. This is where Ayagator starts to feel the pressure, but he gets the angle over Soldier's head, traded by Yas, but it's not enough. PSG have lost the exchange, even if they have taken control of Garage.
Trading one from there is so worth it for the defending team. And I mean, the 2 Toxic Babes, C4, yeah, time is going to be a problem. PSG got to speed up right now.
Look at how aggressive
They're still
Fish
going to make
is.
progress. He's on the chassis. They don't know this. He's going to be good for at least 1 surely here, right?
Yeah, he does swing out.
Good swing.
Perfect timing, and there was no one on the breach as well. The Thermite decided to be the planter, and he abandoned his position on the breach, which allowed Fishlike to relocate into this position. It's a done deal. There's nothing for PSG to be done. Disappointing round for them. It's kind of started quite poorly and they never redeemed themselves. Fishlike finds another one. Last one's out on the breach. It's a 3K for this slippery fish on the side. And SCARZ finally get themselves on the board.
I can very much see this being about the opening engagements. PSG want to execute, SCARZ want to stop them. If SCARZ are successful, like Rek getting the opening in that round, it really slows things down for PSG, and they don't have all the right tools that they might need to achieve their goal in the round. That's the 3rd round played. Of course, that means we get that new set of operator bans. We're going to see PSG on the attack taking away the mirror. That's been kind of annoying because it keeps slapping it on the exterior breach and it keeps slowing things down. And it might force you into playing an Ash or Verticality to deal with those set mirror windows. And kind of to no surprise, SCARZ will triple down on the shield ban and go for the Blackbeard. And that has been the most pivotal operator, I would say, for PSG. Again, it gives you that free set of grenades, free information, you walk around like you own the place, and thankfully, Ayagator managed to kill Soldier on the Blackbeard in that round. Had he not traded, that could have gone very differently. So I like this approach from SCARZ. No shields. Now PSG need a second playstyle. Utility, rushes, or just playing, again, without the invincibility of the shield.
Yeah, it's always a gamble, like you said before, when it comes to banning shields, because in order to completely get rid of shields, well, you can't completely, because Fuse and Osa are still open.
Fuse shield.
Yeah, but you know.
You can't Osa?
I mean, 0.5.
Do we count?
She has the capability to be a shield, but she can't ADS, obviously, like these other ones. She can't knife like these other ones, or knock down, I guess you could say. But yeah, obviously the 3 best shields in the game right now are Montaigne, Blitz, and Blackbeard. So you get rid of those 3. But like you said, no Capitao ban, no Grim ban, no Hard Breach bans. You've sacrificed so many other operators. You've given so many tools to PSG. And now it comes down to PSG happy to play without shields. Or if they really want, are they going to play that Fuse? The answer is clearly yes.
Yes. I'm curious if this changes anything for SCARZ stylistically in the server. Because of course you can ban whatever operator that you want for the strategical aspect of saying, hey, we don't like to play against shields, let's get it gone. But will this prompt SCARZ to play more aggressive because now you can headshot any of your opponents? Will it prompt to play more passive because you don't think PSG can actually get to the bomb side fast enough now to go for their execute? And with Goyo by the main door looking to get offensive, I think it's the first one. I think they're more than happy to take gunfights now because they know every single opponent that they will go up against, because Fuse Shield is very unlikely, will be a quote-unquote fair gunfight. Washoy inside a bar, Aegata by the main door, there is out of cash as well. This is a full 4-man roam with a single player on the bomb site who's playing inside the dirt. That's fish-like. So PSG got a lot of map to cover.
And they are looking to address it head on. They're not focusing up on the site. They're playing right into SCARZ's hands. But all it will take is, as we've said, an opening engagement to go the way of PSG. It doesn't. It's Choppy to start things off. Washoy to join the fray. And PSG might have lost a second round here just on the back of those first 2 kills. They need to start trading them back or pivot for something completely different. Oh, what is that from Yas? Absolutely pitiful attempt at a roam clear here from PSG. It's going to be flawless more often than not. Gotti against 5 on the ground floor. What's going on here? Choppy's just poking and prodding, looking for something. He does lose his life. But yeah, I mean, this is surely a done deal. There's a lot of damage and the finish off. Well, I will say, if this is won by Gotti, it would be one of the most unbelievable clutches I've seen in a while. A 1v5, 30 seconds now, and the entirety of SCARZ is retreating back onto the basement. So even if Gotti can get that diffuser, it's done.
Yeah, the golden rule of pro play is in a 5v1, you're allowed to troll with 2 players, okay? And that's happened. We've had the 2 trolls, now it's serious time. Lock this one in. 12 seconds, in garage, another, oh my god. So Reg basically goo-mined up the entire area around the diffuser, then fell back towards the bomb side, and Gotti can't even reach it in time because there's 1 seconds left. SCARZ, within my book, a flawless round. Yes, 2 players died, but that was in the 5 versus 1. They locked down the map, they locked down the side. PSG spread too thin, trying to roam clear so many different areas all at once instead of going for one position and pushing on over. And this might just be that triple shield ban coming into play, because guess what? PSG can't just walk in anymore unless they opt to go for the fuse shield, which is not typically the case.
The thing is, you can't really roam clear just by getting the general idea of where a player is and then entering and trying to kill them. You have to play a little bit smarter than that. You have to get the defenders to move, and you're the one playing cutoff, right? You want to ideally talk up the pressure, force them back into a player playing cutoff, but that's not what we saw from PSG. We saw them drone out the mute and cash twice and be like, all right, I guess I'm going to take the fight. Oh, I died. Elsewhere, another player died. By that point, round is essentially over.
That's a good way to put it. We used to say the hammer and the anvil as a philosophy way back in like 2016, 17. And it's the same concept, right? You have an anvil standing flat, and then you have the hammer. The hammer's gonna push towards the anvil. Eventually, clap, point of contact. You're shoving the defenders into that anvil, and you make contact, and that's when you get the pressure point broken, and you get those couple of kills. If you don't have the anvil, you're just shoving away the attack or the defenders, and they'll never die. They'll reach the bomb site and they'll be safe. Yeah. And if you don't have a hammer, like you said, they're not gonna be moving. How are you gonna catch them? How are you gonna get the kills unless you walk into them? So it's one of those concepts that goes, you know, all the way back in time. But SCARZ had a great read, understanding we don't need to be the ones to do anything right now. All the cards in the hands of PSG, and if they misplay their cards, they will not find us. They will not get those kills. That's exactly what happened. PSG misplayed their hand in that previous one.
Now, the hammer can't just simply push in and take a 1v1 fight, because then you've abandoned your advantage. Wow, this is a lot of value from Misa. The classic Maestro Brava interaction, the best possible counter to that Maestro. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to destroy it. Maybe Washoy with his impacts could rotate over once they realize that they've lost that evil eye. But for now, that's a hell of a lot of information for PSG on the objective.
Selma going out on that garage catwalk wall. C4 once more from Rek above the CC wall itself, or the cash wall in towards that main breach.
I'd love to know, when Misa gets back on that evil eye, I want to know exactly what he can see with it. I'd love to know.
I assume you can see master bedroom, bed, and connect the door, because it was hard left of the gym window, and then it rotates to the right. So you see like a bit of the jacuzzi hall, you see like half of master bedroom towards the connected door. And you see gym itself, of course. I think, yeah, it's been broken now. It's gone.
Okay.
I think at least.
Well, there are 2 impacts gone now by Washoe, so I assume he's used them
Yeah.
for that and potentially other things. But as we did see, a nice hold of SCARZ has been picked apart on the cash CCTV side. As you said, a lot of Selmas. The Grim was used as well to a really good effect to just scare off these Japanese players, force them back down to the site. So PSG, well played, but of course, SCARZ are also in a decent position because they didn't lose any players on that retreat.
Yeah, I think the goal here right now is to get that drone downstairs, and then I think it's a matter of either going for a straight bomb plant attempt inside of gym or by the master bedroom mattress. Oh. That's the first plan you can do. Oh, you get a freebie? Yeah. There it is. Great drone from Lisa. Gets the free one. And a great timing as well. The second choice is you take office control, and with office you get the centerpiece of the bomb site. But there's 3 people or so outside the windows. They're gonna go straight for a bomb site plant here with 25 seconds to go and control downstairs.
Yeah, problem is, Choppy has found the first kill. He's also playing the Warden, so no smokes to worry about. Ayagator with a massive flank from bottom garage. He can spot players on the balcony, take 2 of them down. It's now a 2v4. A round that looked to be in the bag for PSG has gone down the toilet. And SCARZ lap up another round of defense.
And out of nowhere, I mean, that was perfect timing to go for that backstab. PSG were so ready. They were quite literally a second or 2 away from pressing spacebar and flying in the bomb site windows. And then the flank strikes, gets those 2 kills. Chubby also on the Warden pushed in towards Jim, perfectly understanding what PSG were trying to do and going for the counterplay. Things are looking much better for SCARZ now. They got what seems like the right operator bands down to counter PSG's playstyle, and they have now figured out the pacing, the timings in the server, understanding, hey, on that basement, let's do a crazy aggressive roam, shut them down. On the next gym defense, however, we're gonna just simply give up map space, start cache, fall back, play connector, fall back from connector, play master bedroom, play by the bomb site, and then late round, we will backstab and just lash out somewhere else. I love this playstyle from SCARZ because it's simple and it's so effective. And I also love this, the bar bomb site defense. I think it's underrated. I spoke to Doki about this the other day. He also thinks it's underrated. And it's SCARZ in APL to whip it out and finally show this side some love.
It's a bit of a flex, by the way, because SCARZ have just won 3 defenses on 3 different bomb sites. CCTV, church, and then gym bedroom. They go to a 4th different bomb site. And things are starting to get a little bit rough for PSG. Of course, we saw these teams play Clubhouse in the regular season, and PSG won it. It was a pretty close game, but PSG won it before going to overtime, and now it's looking like quite a different story. SCARZ have really cleaned up these defenses, and they've got a lot of depth to them as well. They got a deep strategy book. They're going to bar. It's one question to pick it. It's another one to actually demonstrate that they can play it well. And it starts here with an extension into strip. This player is about to feel a lot of pressure on the other side. I believe that's Choppy. As the exothermic charge likely to go off. His escape route also isolated with the destruction of that castle barricade.
Bonk. When you got this bomb site, it's a lot of map to cover. Kind of like basement. You want to try and play top floor as a defender, extend, horizontally to like strip and lounge. And for the attackers, you gotta pick which half of the map are you going to attack. Are you gonna go cache over? Are you gonna go, master bedroom strip over? Or you try and push on both sides, have 2 groups working together and meet in the middle. SCARZ are contesting this so aggressively and so confidently that they're gonna burn down the timer of PSG. They're gonna kill as many drones as possible and try and make the clock one of their win conditions. There's not a ton of plant in I hear for SCARZ. They don't have like the Echo, the Maestro, the Smoker, Tashanka, so they need to try and just play the map as long as they physically can, or get an opening kill, because that will buy them space in the server. PSG is spread out. Misa's at a kitchen. You have 2 people outside on the cache balcony right now, just on rappel, holding passive angles. They are fishing for a kill. They don't have a clear approach right now.
Angator's got an inkling of where these players are. He's also still got 1 keeper barrier in pocket. Ooh, it's a soft wall and a hard wall here, but no more hard breach remains for PSG. Oh no, and the spray through the wall! That's a big kill for Washoe. Gotti goes down. No more soft breach means that they are not going to be opening this stage wall, which is the default position. Oh no, Osa feeling a lot of pressure! Washoe with the hipfire headshot! He's gone massive in this round. PSG just rely on 2 people. The Warden, immune to flashes, deploys his gadget, doesn't need to swing as of yet. Ryder taking a hell of a lot of damage, will get traded back. SMG 12, nets Washoy a 3K, as Soldier is the last one standing for PSG. It's going to be 4 in a row here for SCARZ. A world tour of 4 different bomb sites and a absolutely class showing of Clubhouse defense. Nice shot through the wall from Soldier. Another one as well. Surely not. 2 more to find. He's caught on camera. And now caught in the dread mine, forcing the plant down. It does come down to Choppy to deny it, and he does. SCARZ complete the world tour.
I love that for them, and I gotta say here, it is a worrisome sign when you're watching a team on the attack from the top-down perspective with all the silhouettes enabled, like we are on the broadcast, and you can't make sense of the attack. What's the win condition there? What's the end goal? Where are they trying to plant down that diffuser? It didn't really look like there was a fully fledged plan going into that round. And again, they start top floor, they do a bit of soft destruction, hard destruction, then they go thermite inside of kitchen, 3 guys lounge, they got the Osa, but there's nobody playing main door. And then again, SCARZ just walk on in, they take control, they win the gunfights, and with that they take the round. SCARZ have really figured out how to play that side on defense. Now we stop things around. SCARZ are going to attack PSG on defense, and operator bans are similar in one way and very different in the other. We have matched the Kaid Bandit bans, but there's also been a Thermite Ace ban in action. So both teams playing around the hard destruction of the walls and the hatches. PSG are trying to make SCARZ work for the basic things of this map, right? That first step of opening things up. For this particular round though, going basement first, they do have Hibana up and available. I feel like in my mind, if I'm banning Thermite Ace, I'm probably gonna go upstairs first to Gym or CCTV, because that's where those hard breaches tend to have the most amount of impact. But regardless, you're down to 4. You gotta play every single side and more than that.
Yeah, and as we talked a lot about in the first half, shield bans were very prevalent from SCARZ, not at all present from PSG, which does mean they are available. For now, it's just the Blackbeard picked here. In the absence of a lot of hard breach, obviously you're really going to rely on the Hibana and potentially the Maverick. In this case, it's just Hibana and tin can openers on Grim and Ying. But of course, that does give you some flexibility to complement that with a shield. And I think, especially when we get to CCTV, we'll see Fish-like jump on that Monty probably. It's one of his favorite operators, actually his most played operator. SCARZ have played a lot of Montaigne in this stage so far. And obviously PSG not having banned any shields just gives the slew of choice over to SCARZ.
So all is about the first step here. SCARZ, a little bit of a slow first approach. They got, of course, Black inside a dirt tunnel, stopped by the Goya fire. But right now, he is alone. It's always a bit risky. Second Goya pop. I mean, this is actually very good value. Only 1 nade spent as well, so 1 left in pocket. While that's ongoing, SCARZ is still problem solving the breaching elsewhere. Misa on the room top floor finds 1 kill, takes a lot of damage, though might have to fall back.
At least Washoy goes down. It's your soft breach, your vertical operator. Don't have any other revert to replace it. Here comes a Nitro Selfish, like, gets out of dodge in time, but then re-peaks and dies. This is your hard breacher gone. You still got some tin can openers, but PSG are everywhere all at once, and even jumping out windows. Misa and Gotti together confirm yet another kill. SCARZ get desperate. They turn their attention to the site. It's up to Rek now as he executes. He goes in through Dummers and he finds one. Diffuser. He's going to Grim off the backside as well. The problem is there's no diffuser, as you said. Thing is, I'm not sure if PSG know that. Where is this diffuser? Aegator's now got it. With Dummies control, Rek can set up a flank watch drone. His last of his Grim Bees also sent out. Aegator needs to come in to support, but it's important that Rek doesn't lose his life. Instead, he claims another kill. Now, there is a player on the main stairs. I'm not sure if they're able to get in kitchen, play for Vert, but regardless, Aegator goes and gets that diffuser down. At the bottom of main stairs, Ryder sits with his Azami's keeper barriers, and we've had quite a flip. The attackers are now the defenders, and the defenders are marching back towards the bomb site. All they need to do is take down Rek, and Yas does just that. Ryder to confirm that counter defuse, and a big retake. PSG find their first defense.
both teams probably having one of their best rounds so far in this matchup. I mean, that was beautifully played from both. You're in a 2v4, 2v5, looking very dire. One player dirt, one player blue stairs, no diffuser. Get a couple of kills, use the Grim Beast, get the flank drone, pick up the diffuser, walk back in. Then you plant, pretty much by the default position of back B bombs out there by the Blackbeard, and there was an impact grenade in the pocket of the Asami. One left in the round. They opened up the wall right here, and they're gonna storm down Blackbeard here, get that free kill, with 3 people watching the same angle. Had there not been that impact grenade, that should probably be a done deal for SCARZ in that round, and a huge clutch with that. But it goes to so, even if SCARZ will lose the early stage of the attack, not finding the roam clear, you can never really count them out, because they can just hit that switch and go, okay, we just gotta go crazy now. If you think back to SCARZ the entirety of the last 2-3 years, however long it's been at this point, they've always been known to be that kind of team. Similar to CAG. When they need to get absolutely crazy in the server, they will get absolutely crazy in the server. So PSG, again, they've been paying a lot of respect when they're on the attacking side, but they have to keep paying that respect when they're on defense.
Yeah. It's going to be a very different case on these other bomb sites though, Pengu, obviously, because that basement bomb site where you play like a full map roam, it's the only bomb site where you can really do that, because all of these other bomb sites you can ignore a decent amount of roam pressure. So we'll see what happens here on Gym. It's like I saw it written in the stars, but Fishlike has brought out the Montaigne.
Yep.
Very good operator
you
for him.
You might know a thing or two about these guys.
Oh, I looked at the stats. I always take full credit. Looked at the stats coming into this game. Saw how good Fishlike was on that Montaigne, and I just, especially the conversation.
Hibana trick?
Yeah, this is a bit of a strange way to do it. The conversation we had in the first half really just made me think about shield usage. Yeah, he's gonna have to get the top as well. No, he's not gonna Hibana trick.
No, he's not gonna Hibana trick it. So if you do top and bottom here, like a Maverick, you make it soft.
And they got the
They're
buff.
using 8 Excaro pellets just to make it like a crouch roll.
Very strange.
It's not bad, but it is like a low value play because you really can't crouch walk through that hole. I mean, especially up against the mirror window. But now, perhaps we're gonna try and breach the mirror window. We see Misa jump through, shoot the Excaro pellets.
Yeah.
And now also with Gas retaking gym position, they can keep protecting that mirror window.
So I can only
Where's
assume...
the action all this? Where's the bar vert? Sorry?
Yeah, good question. I can only imagine here that maybe PSG are aware that SCARZ don't do the Hibana trick. I personally can't recall if I have seen them do it. Oh, this is going to be a duel. Washo is going to die. That's the problem with only having lateral pressure. That's the problem with the ace ban as well.
There is no mirror window.
Oh, wait. Oh, well. Still, that solidified... The solidified wall is still very valuable. The mirror window is here in Logi, and that's a very powerful one as well.
Okay, I thought they doubled down bathroom and jacuzzi wall, but there literally isn't one on the bathroom wall. So Misa jumped through and just killed the Excaro pellets on the wall itself, not the mirror window. Opening kill though will make things a lot harder for the attacker, especially given that you got the Monty. Monty's great for information, for map control, but when push comes to shove, it's one less gun actively in the fighting. And the fighting will happen very soon. Nate goes out, grapple on in, here they go.
Yeah, big shotty play. Never mind, he's dead. Gotti is watching. And obviously at that range, the shotgun's not going to cut it. Time to get in there. No, Choppy can't find anything. Everybody's running in and dying for SCARZ. It is a very confusing and pitiful attempt of an attack. And 2 for 2 that SCARZ have really, really struggled. We're going to go to a very quick break while we get things back into it after this rehost. But don't go anywhere because the scoreline is tied. PSG and SCARZ at 4 apiece.
レックです。スカーズに入ってます。埼玉県住です。そうですね。自分が PS4 の頃に初めてレインボーシックスシージと出会って、それがきっかけですね。自分がシージを始めたきっかけは、お兄ちゃんがすごいゲームが大好きで、それが影響されてゲームが大好きになりましたね。お兄ちゃんと一緒にやってたゲームは COD の BO2 というゲームがきっかけで、そこから FPS にハマって、本当に一日中一緒にやったりとか。それがきっかけです。そうですね、すごいなんか今と違って純粋にゲームを楽しんでるっていうのがあって、すごい楽しかったなっていう思い出ありますね。そうですね、シージと出会った頃は自分がまだめちゃめちゃ若い頃ですね。そうですね、自分が e スポーツ選手になったきっかけは、自分は昔から人と競い合うのがすごい好きで、それで言うと中学高校も部活でずっと一本でやってて、それで結構 諦めちゃったっていうのが大きくて、諦めた先にあったのがゲームで、それでずっとゲームをしていたらやっぱなんか楽しいなっていうよりかはなんかやっぱ勝ちたいっていう気持ちがすごい強くなって、でそれでだんだんやってったら、気づいたらプロになってたっていうか、気づいたら選手になってましたね。そうですね、やっていた部活っていうのは卓球で、中学から始めて、でそのまま結果を少し残せて推薦みたいな感じで高校に行った感じです。そうですね、反射神経だけは多分そこであって、それが多分すごい活かせてるんだなと思います。昔から始めた人っていうか、小さい頃から始めた人がすごい得意な有利なスポーツで、その状況で自分は中学スタートっていう状態で、団体戦っていうのがあったんですけど、それで県3位になって関東大会に出れたのが一番思い出かなと思います。始めたきっかけはそうですね、自分の行った中学がたまたますごい卓球が強いチーム、学校で、しかもみんな中学校から始めて、その幼い頃から始めた人に勝つっていう目標を持ってるチームで、すごい面白そうだなっていうので始めてみましたね。
They say it's not the destination, it's the journey.
And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And you know what?
They're right.
Welcome back in, guys. We're all tied up here on map number 1 of this best of 3 in the playoffs of APL, APAC North. It's Korea versus Japan in PSG versus SCARZ. I'm Dev, and it's Peng Mata bringing you the broadcast today. What's good in Denmark today, Pengu?
It's a great day. You know, it's a cool, nice temperature, perfect for being indoors. Not gonna be sweating too much. We got some good games going on. Had some great games yesterday. Gotti taking a bit of team fire, damage there in the preface and the pipe on the wall is unlucky. What's the weather like in Aussie land, by the way? I actually have no idea. You said it was cold yesterday. There was 14 degrees. That's not cold.
Expect rain in the next hour. It is currently 6:10 p.m. here. Feels like 8 degrees, 13 degrees. We got some rain coming in from, actually from all of every direction. There seems to be rain. I believe we have a southerly breeze alert in effect. Severe weather from the Australian Government Bureau of Meteorology. Wind is making it feel a little bit cooler. It seems to be a westerly to northwesterly, gusts up to 49 kilometers per hour wind at a measly 23 kilometers. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 7:30. Hopefully we'll be all done by then. But as for now, it seems to be a sunny day on Clubhouse.
I was gonna say, I checked for both Japan and Korea. They got 30 and 31 degrees respectively in their countries, so it's a warm one over there. Just like I said, Clubhouse looking mighty fine right now. The first minute has kind of flown by and nothing has happened. We've seen some hard breaching, some soft breaching, some team fire damage, Soldier almost getting wall banged to the grave. 1 HP left now, his bar. This is CCTV bomb site defense with a very aggressive lonesome roam from Soldier, who's now maybe stuck inside a bathroom. We'll see if they'll sort of go for him or not. He's gonna run on back to connector. Fears the window, fears the breach, but he'll make it out alive. So SCARZ get map control, Soldier survives, but there has been a lot of damage done to the defense already.
Well, and as we are going to CCTV, we're seeing that Monty come out again, though this time it's actually to clear gym bedroom. Soldier finally finished off. Washoy is still all the way over here, and he's got a little bit of Swiss cheese to deal with. Spotting the clash. Obviously, shot from the Kali onto that clash, the high caliber will knock the shield back a little bit. He's going to open up more holes to peek into cash. Now this is...
Oh my god.
This is what people expected that Rainbow Six Siege would be in 2015. They're like, yeah, we're going to have snipers outside the building on Overwatch, locking down the site. Problem is, if some of SCARZ players start to fall on the site, Washo's going to be so far from helping out.
This is why CCTV can be so hard to play when you're up against a Kaid bandit ban, by the way. Every single wall opened up, the soft ones, the reinforced ones. You have no real playable positions on the side itself. And there's no mirror in play for PSG. They only have the clash, almost goes down. Good cover from Gotchi though, gets a kill into Wreck. But the clash, Misa has to make so much work happen in this round because it's the only person who can actually play in the game. Yellow ping, sound cue, Fishlike on Monty on flank watch.
Yeah, they'll see him for a brief second. 30 seconds though, and the problem is now Washoy is still outside the building. He needs to come and support. This is an interesting reposition here for Misa as well. Just to the left of the bridge. Oh no, but the fire is the perfect counter. He's going to have to jump straight through the shield and gets taken on down. Well played by Airgator. It's exactly what we needed to see from SCARZ.
10 seconds.
And now PSG, they have to hold and withstand the weight of this attack from SCARZ, but two of them fall. It's just down to Washoy and Fishlike. Fishlike finds one, can't get the plant down. And still Washoy was outside the breach with no way onto site. It's a big clutch up for PSG. And another defense win on the board.
The benefit and the downside shown right there from Kali still being on that Overwatch position. Yes, you get a kill. Yes, you're applying pressure. But in the end, when you're going for that bomb site push, ideally, I want to see every attacker in the building working together. Misa thought perhaps there was no fires left from Capital. There was one left, got stuck in that corner. That's not very good. But right here, it's Monty on site alone. Tried to go for a plant, but you have to recognize in that 2v1, he has to get a kill first. Then he can go for the plant. Then there was no time left. As you said, Kali stuck outside the building. It's been a tricky one with the Hibana trick. We've seen it now in various regions. And as we said, the Hibana tricks when you put the pellets in the bottom of a wall and the top of a wall, kind of like a Maverick, and you'll make the wall soft and open up that full half wall. The issue is now, a lot of people mess it up. And I'm not saying they're doing it because they're bad at the game. It is just a very finicky trick. It kind of works, it kind of doesn't work. It's one pixel off and you're just kind of screwed. And I do believe that messing up the trick for SCARZ and not getting those walls fully opened, it's just kind of making things even more complicated.
If I'm anyone on SCARZ right now, I'm saying, look guys, they banned Thermite and Ace. and we can't Hibana trick. After this match is over, we're going straight into a custom game, and we are teaching everyone to Hibana trick to perfection until you can get it 10 out of 10 times in a row.
Oh, not even 9 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 angle here.
Yeah,
You're running a hard bargain here, Dev.
Well, I've been
Strive for perfection.
I've always loved Hibana, like my OG main back in the day. But I've never been able to.
Hibana mains.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you were, of course.
But she was so good back then, and then she kind of, you know.
Oh, well, especially peak bearing 9 was just unreal. That gun was so good. But yeah, I personally have to out myself. I can't Hibana trick. I've tried a couple times. I've got it sometimes, not consistently. Oh, this is dangerous.
Oh, the fire.
Straight into the fire, but the flash might save it here for Fish Slide.
melee.
No, it's a bit awkward. Eventually, he finds his kill. And amidst the chaos, look at how many players have fallen for PSG. Well, not going down as of yet. It's just up to Gotti now in a 1 versus 4. Oh my god, his position's now revealed. The Blitz knows exactly where he is. Oh my god! What a flick wall bang from Gotti! 1v3, the Blitz is somewhat low. And after the luck he's had just now, I would be shooting through every single wall I could find. He's got to wait and move forward, got to take these fights one by one, but he is found out. And finally, SCARZ have themselves an attack round win.
A round that finishes by time running out in the previous one to a round being decided for the attackers, what, 20 seconds into action phase or so? The Blitz jumping in the blue window. When that happened, I think Blackbeard got a double kill. That was a side done right there. 1, 2, it was a Sledge kill, a Blackbeard kill, and a Blitz kill. It's a 5v3, and they were planting less than 50 seconds into the round. Yes, the planter then died, Gotti tried to clutch, but SCARZ, like I said earlier, when they need to get crazy with it, they will absolutely do so. This does, of course, give PSG the option to go to a different bomb site, as Jim will unlock. But it can be hard to find success when you're up against the shields. We just saw that. They played 2 of them, the Blitz and the Blackbeard, to great effect. Now the question is for SCARZ, because all 3 shields are up and available, which one do you like the most? And I'll go back to my first point. Blackbeard always gives you that extra set of grenades, which can be oh so valuable, especially in this round, right? The Asami Keeper Barriers, the Maestro Evil Eyes, and the Clash walking around. This is definitely a Blackbeard round.
Can you imagine if Blitz had nades?
I would rather not imagine Blitz having nades, because what a world that would be.
I've got a better one for you. Can you imagine if Blitz had flashes?
Oh, so you can like long range flash somebody, sprint towards them,
then keep
nearby flash them with the primary gets. That would be a sight to behold, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Sometimes I just have these sadistic imaginations about different ridiculous operator combinations, you know? It's a normal thing.
You know, once upon a time, Blitz's flash range was about double or triple the current radius, about 3 to 4 meters currently. I think a happy medium here is to buff the flash range just a little bit, because it feels like Blitz has to be in literal melee distance for it to properly work consistently, and that doesn't feel very good. But I also know playing against the Blitz is extremely frustrating. But I too like having these nasty thoughts, and I like playing the Blitz.
I just think they should give Blitz the super shorty and let him hip fire.
I mean, we kind of had an iteration of that in the world. So back when SkyScraper first came out in the early years of the game, people played Monty with the revolver, with the laser attached. Back then, lasers gave you less of a hipfire spread. You were a literal Kali sniper rifle across the map hipfire shooting with the Monty. It was disgusting.
Felt like a sawed-off shotgun. Like, you just spam left click with that revolver hipfire, and anybody within 10 meters is dead.
Exactly. Unplayable, almost no counterplay. It was a tough time to play Siege back then, but that's the beauty of it. There's always going to be some quirky little thing that you can play, and of course, all the new operators, all the new mechanics, there's a lot more counters in action nowadays. Kali lands, hits the window frame, unlucky, but Kali has 4 of those total. The second one goes through, and I think they're aiming for... I'm not exactly sure if there's an Evil Eye that was on that, but the Keeper goes down, Misa in a stable position. Again, when you play the Clash in the center of the bomb site... Oh no.
Oh, this
animation notched him 1 inch backwards.
Japanese sniper right here. Rek is farming from these windows. He's locked down a lot of these positions. PSG feeling a little bit awkward. 45 seconds left, and Ayagator is forcing that diffuser down. Plan is denied, and Rek is also taken out as well. At the drop of a hat, PSG have regained control, and SCARZ are all but shut down. It's just Washoe left with Rek still bleeding out on the balcony. Gotti and Ryder sit comfortably on site, waiting, but they're not going to have to wait much longer. Just 20 seconds remain, and Washoe has quite a hike before him. He's not going to have time to go outside and pick up his teammate. He's going to have to go for broke. The diffuser is down, and guess what? Gotti is lying in wait, quite literally around the corner from it. Washoe walks right on past him. Gotti stands up, hoses him down while Ryder springs into action as well. And it's a solid round there from PSG after what looked to be a good execute from SCARZ. PSG steal that point.
I very much think that was actually going to be a SCARZ round victory because they had a really good setup. They took down the Clash effortlessly and they still had soft destruction in their pockets. I think they went too early. They had so much time to go with. They get the Clash killed and they're thinking, guys, what is actually stopping us from just planting right now? And then comes the problem. There's a C4 downstairs inside a bar the entire time. They had no drone and no player presence in that moment. There's a Maestro Evil Eye inside a gym seeing the entirety of Master Bedroom, so they know exactly when and where that plant is going down. And that's where, when the first defender dies, Misa on the Clash, you become a cam watcher. You're not going to watch the player point of views because you know what they're going to be doing. It's a very small bomb site. You watch the camps, you say, guys, there's one guy Condor, they're planting mattress, mute C4 downstairs, or Valkyrie C4 downstairs, and that's it. Deny the entire plant. If SCARZ waits 10 seconds, 15 seconds, sends a drone or player downstairs to take care of the verticality, and deals with the Maestro Evil Eye camera first, which they usually could with the Kali or the Blackbeard, they're chilling. They're actually going to be looking so solid. They went too fast this time, and it goes punished. PSG Talon are now looking at match point in their favor, and SCARZ, they want to try and tie things up and take us into overtime.
SCARZ have had some good moments here. I like that we've seen a lot more pace from them, Pengu. A lot of aggression in these attacks. Because it was 3 rounds of defense, one in a row, by the way. Yeah, the Kali was really nice. Shame we're not going to get to see it this round. Of course, different bomb site. This basement is much more close quarters. But the new ingredient here is the Ying, which I quite like. In tandem with that, we've also got this IQ pick, which I think is really good to deal with the Valkyrie, to deal with the Fenrir as well. As you said, though, yeah, this Warden pick does make that Ying a little bit less effective.
Yeah, and they're playing main stairs. Some people call this Ambi spot because Ambi over in North America would play here with like Jaeger DSs as well. And so just kind of mute Jammer. The mute Jammer will counter the Grim Beast red pinging him. The Warden himself will of course stop the flashbangs from the Ying from blinding him. And they have a pre-placed C4 inside the middle staircase on one of the steps that's being covered. Wow. You can't really shoot it, and it's even hard to grenade it. And there are no secondary EMPs here. This could honestly choose who wins the round. This main stairs position. If Soldier is successful, well, either he gets a bunch of kills or he wastes a ton of time. And you see this, you can't shoot it. I tried. The nade, if it rolls too far down, it won't get it either. There's a world where it's still alive. I'm not entirely sure what happened here, if it's up or not.
Well, there's still info here.
It's still there.
Oh, there's no way!
Second C4.
Oh my god! Gotti goes for the double with that Nitro Cell. I can't believe that. Absolutely genius. I think that was actually a separate Nitro thrown through the floor.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't Soldier's one that we saw already. It was a bait from PSG. And SCARZ get absolutely decimated from it. And finally, that Nitro Cell goes down. It wasn't even destroyed, though, from that grenade. Yep. Now it's desperation for Choppy, sending the Candelas forward into the site, but SCARZ, 2 players in deficit with no clear way to execute and get their boots onto that bomb site. Things are not looking pretty.
Time to get desperate. Gotta go for a crazy play right now. A great shot to start things off.
Bit of flash. Somehow, Rex still finds the down. Onto Misa, finishes him off. A spray back his direction. Eventually, Soldier secures it. It's up to just Fishlike now. He's caught on camera. 20 seconds to play in this 1v3. A lot of time to work with, but he's got that trusty Type 89 in hand. He doesn't seemingly know where these players are. The shotgun around the corner. No, it's the SMG-11. It's Gotti, the savior of the round, to secure the first map for PSG. It was a long and arduous one, but a 7-5 is a victory nonetheless. History will repeat itself on Clubhouse. 1-0 up for the Koreans.
But now comes the exciting part for me. Next map will be Bank, a map where I have seen SCARZ play at such a high level many times before, back when Japan was just their own region. We saw them actually against Kinotrope last year in the second stage, United James. We casted that match, and SCARZ were in full control from start to finish. So things might very quickly change up. There is a very good chance here, given how close Clubhouse was, that we are going to have to see all 3 maps.
Oh, if there's one thing we've learned from the APL playoffs so far, it's that this is a place where we come to find a very close game. SCARZ looking to bounce back on map 2 in just a few.
As I was saying, we have to look at what's ahead of us now and not worry too much about the past.
Did you see that?
What?
Wait, what is this doing here?
Whoa, what the hell is going on?
Guys, we need to go.
Jess, what are you doing here?
We need to go now.
Jess, Doc is gone, we have to go back.
There's no time. There's really no time.
Can't take this anymore.
I'm tired. He's our head coach. I have to go save him.
You're already dead. There's no escaping now.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's about to kick some serious ass? Remember, I'll be watching. Now you see me, now you don't.
Get ready. I'm taking them out.
Changing mags. I got this. Got my eyes on you. Located enemy.
You know how they say it's not the destination, it's the journey?
And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And you know what?
They're right.
Back into it here in APL. It's PSG Talon versus SCARZ on the second map. Pengu, it was a bit back and forth, but PSG ran away with their defenses a little bit. They ended up getting 5 of their 6, and obviously won it before it went to overtime. But you were particularly excited to see what SCARZ have to offer for us on Bank.
Yeah, they are just a team where I think they're going to be a lot more comfortable about how Bank is navigated, especially when they are on the attacking side. SCARZ at least... Okay, to be fair, this is with the old roster. They have made 2 roster changes, so I haven't seen this iteration play the map. But last year in Stage 2, they're very quick in the building. They're very comfortable fighting for open area control, main stage control on that basement bomb side. Things that a lot of teams struggle with. So SCARZ, they're playing a map now where it's a lot easier for attackers to initially get in. And when you make something easier that you're already very, very good at, it's going to look flawless. That's my expectation. Whether it's going to be met, we're going to have to wait and see. But it is going to be SCARZ, of course, starting on the more favorable side, in my mind, of attacking. But given how PSG were doing on Clubhouse, maybe they want to be defense in this one, you know?
Well, that's the thing. You point out that PSG, or rather SCARZ, start on the favored side of attack here. Bank is one of the more, if not the most, attacker-sided maps in the pool right now. And yeah, it's SCARZ' map pick, which means PSG got to pick starting side. So it's actually a little bit strange to me to see that they've decided to go with defense, who conventional wisdom would have said to be the tougher side to start on. So yeah, despite having a real struggle, only winning 1 attack on Clubhouse after 6 tries, I think SCARZ will have a little bit more luck here. But of course, we need to see it. We need them to prove it. We need them to get a little bit of confidence back. Play with the fire that we saw in those last couple of rounds.
Another meg!
We're seeing a similar theme from PSG though. Banning double heart breach. Of course, the biggest thing to take away is that the top floor bombs out of CEO will be a lot more defendable once we get there, because you can't breach open that elevator wall on the top floor. And that's one of the main breaches that you want to do on that. For basement, it is also going to have an impact. Not having Hibana for those hatches when you got to find that elsewhere. We're seeing double can openers, so that secondary heartbeat gadget in the pocket of the Grim and the Ying. That's just to ensure that you get all those hatches. There's also the walls inside of server, where there's at least 1 reinforced wall, sometimes 2. This is gonna mean SCARZ have to choose what will be breached open and what will stay closed, because they don't technically have enough to get every single piece of heart destruction done this round. Not that you need it, but it certainly helps. It has been a... I don't want to say slow. It's been like a relatively fast on SCARZ.
this is fast,
They realize now there are no roamer. Yeah, 60 seconds.
It took them a while to figure out there were no roamers, but now, you know, a minute and 15 into the round, they've got control of open area. It's really about how quickly they can open up these hatches.
Corner hatch, of course, already being popped. If you want to count, there's 1 hatch in lobby, 1 in elevator, 2 in open area, that's 4. A 5th hatch is the server hatch. Then you have 2 walls inside of server. That makes for a good 6 to 7 things you gotta breach depending on what's already been opened up. And again, there's only 4 can openers in play for all of those things. Yeah. The sense is great though, with the Grim and the Ying. It's obviously a very execute-oriented attacker from SCARZ that has a decent amount of firepower behind it in soft destruction like the Buck, a great gun in the likes of Twitch. Right now they're setting up, droning, mapping out the landscape right now. Grim Beast going down, Twitch drone follows through. These Screw canisters, a timer ticking down, they could be quite dangerous.
Choppy is now tip of the spear for this attack. He will likely be the backstab player though. That said, actually, SCARZ are going for a rear take. No. It surprises me because it's been over a minute now since we saw Gotti retreat out of server and blue stairs, giving that up. It's clearly that PSG want everyone to push in from that side. However, Garage is going to be a real problem for them unless if Yas just goes down like that, which he seemingly has done so. Fishlike finds the opening kill. Gotti holds on. Wait a second. How on earth did Aya get it? What is going on? Misa snuck back upstairs. He's flanked. He's found one down through the hatch as well. Oh, what a good start from SCARZ that has been embarrassingly ripped apart by PSG. Thanks to that big flank from Misa. Choppy goes down all up to Fishlike. Nice, easy lockout for Gotti. And it's all on the back of Misa appearing out of thin air on the ground floor with that flank.
Yeah, the Gap Finder on attack going for opening kills. The Flanger on defense as well. I was checking there. There was only 2 drones left alive for SCARZ when the round finished, and we didn't see any real sort of pressure on the server side early in the round. So I think this is the good old test. Okay, I hear nobody, I see nobody, and you just go for the flank. You know there's a lone drone count. Players keep track of that. They see it in the server. And right enough, there was nobody watching the flank actively with a gun, and there was nobody watching a drone either because there were none. As a matter of fact, when 3 people from SCARZ died, nobody even was watching drones. They were all watching players. So odds are those 2 drones that were alive were either in really, really bad spots or... I mean, that's probably... They were in bad spots or they were mute chat. That's the only 2 options that you have, really. So... yeah, that's just not gonna work.
Yeah,
it looked like a really good round though. SCARZ got opening to kill too.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised at how that was going down because I was keeping my eye on where Gotti was playing and he was in blue stairs for a long time. And then, like you said, no one from SCARZ pressured blue stairs or server and Gotti peeled away regardless. And I thought, oh wow, so he's gonna give it all up. SCARZ didn't see that. They didn't go and take the free map control. Meanwhile, Misa must have gone back up those blue stairs for a big flank. Yeah. And obviously that spelled the death of SCARZ, focused so much on that rear side take. And now they are already down in the series. Now they're down on map number 2. It's their map pick, and they're on the favored side. It's not a great way to kick things off here for the Japanese.
Nomad being brought out for the jump outs, perhaps, it looks like, as they're on the exterior of the building. We saw some Clash tech in games 2 days ago, where you jump out the windows of the Clash, put down the shield, and fight these people on the rappel. It's insane. And Nuke is also quite nice here, because you're up against the Valkyrie and those interior default cameras.
There's that camera,
You
by
want
the
to
way.
time it here. Yeah, they're watching it. If he vaults the desk, he's gonna make sound. So Nuke right now is invisible to the camera, but if you move or vault the desk, you will hear that operator on the cam. Now they stop watching it. Now will be the time to... Oh, they're back on it again, actually. But you see the point of view here difference. It's crazy.
But I think
And Nuke
Misa is aware. I think Misa has a feeling that there's a nuke. Oh, meanwhile, there's a push elsewhere. Misa is still trying to sneak on in. He might have timed this well. Actually, there's a good read. But no, Rex still finds the kill regardless. He was looking the right direction, was Misa, but he still fell. Meanwhile, Gotti has continued his reign of terror. He's looking for one more. Fishlike on the ground, needs a revive, but Gotti does finish off Rex. The Nook stopped dead in its tracks. And now it's just Ayagator against 3. I gotta say, Gotti is unbelievable. 5-0 at the moment, as Ayagator desperately tries to make something work here in a 1v3. No teammates to speak of. One flashbang, one air jab remaining. No diffuser. I'll go and pick it up in just a moment, but again, Gotti just locking down the site for PSG.
Yeah, it's so vital having a good anchor player, because SCARZ, I mean, they're going for the bomb sites. They're going for those direct attacks right now. And when you're the anchor, that's the first person of contact. And Gotti has won his battles. He's used the Toxic Babes to high efficiency. 40 seconds, flashbang going out. Final Toxic Babe following through. Bolt in the rotate. There's a player right behind you. Soldier, the bailiff, confirms that final kill in the round. Again, SCARZ, they start well, James. They get the opening, it looks good. They had the mini play with the nuke, and that sneak flank, it worked. The blitz entry also worked, but then PSG to turn it up one more level and somehow get back into the round.
Yeah. Oh, well, rough look for SCARZ. It's 2 rounds in a row where something seems to start well for them, and then it all falls flat. PSG, if they keep this up, might be able to make this a swift 2-0. That's what we saw this morning. Well, this morning was a lot more dominant. I can't even say morning, to be honest. For me, it was already afternoon by the time we started our first match today with Kinotrope and Kag. And obviously that was quite a one-sided affair. I think Kinotrope got 5 rounds across the 2 maps. SCARZ have already got 5 rounds on map 1. They're looking worse on Bank than we expected. They have not weathered this storm. This was a map, like you said, that we expected a lot from them on. They're starting here on the attack. PSG are not giving them anything. Taking no prisoners.
To be honest, I think SCARZ have actually played just fine. If not, they've played kind of good. But I think PSG have just been one step ahead, if anything. Like, if Gotti isn't 5-0, this genuinely could be a 2-0 SCARZ. Gotti has stopped both pushes now successfully, and SCARZ, again, opening kill, looking good, got the right take on things, and then Misa flanks the first round, Gotti anchors it successfully, they win that round. Last round, Gotti gets a 2 or 3 piece, that, again, stops them dead in their tracks. I still think SCARZ are looking great. They got good ideas, and we see them keep picking these pocket strats, right? The first round, the back tay with the Ying, the Sense, the Grim. The second round, the Nuke, the Blitz. Now they got the Raora Capital Sense as well on a top floor attack on CEO, while having Deimos downstairs, and there is no mute to speak of. When you get those def marks out tracking the players and janitors, for example, you can destroy that position vertically, use Capital and Sense Raora on the window repels to lock down all the angles, and that should give you a safe rappel on in to go for a plan attempt. SCARZ are right now setting up. When they are ready, that's likely what they're going to be aiming for. If PSG die early in this round, or don't have the right answer, that should be the SCARZ plan going down.
Here come ROU projector walls. Not activated as of yet, though.
All 4.
Yeah, it's a lot of line of sight denial. Hasn't activated them as of yet. Waiting for the Capital to come through. Here comes the activation. The gas is going to choke him out a little bit. Yeah, Rek is not the one with the diffuser. It was Fishlike who does get caught by that Nitro cell. Now he has to go and retry that. The Logic Bomb will force Soldier off his cams, off the Yokais. Not able to deny anymore. Meanwhile, Misa can actually put down this pocket mirror window for a little bit more information as he opened the other one to enable an extra line of sight to deny that plant. which still has not gone down, by the way, nor has the diffuser really been put into an appropriate position. Rek grabbed it and then jumped straight back out again.
We're missing the Deimos downstairs. Alligator, 3 trackers in pocket, 1 grenade hasn't destroyed the mirror windows or janitors, any self-destruction. We got air drones inside of lobby. They haven't problem solved. They're going straight for sight. Rek finally finds a kill, but that mirror window, it's still there.
Yeah, but doesn't really matter too much about the mirror window if PSG get a little bit too antsy and start walking into these DMRs. It's been big kills from Rek and Washoy. Soldier still has some of those yokais available. 1 in CEO, 1 in lobby. His teammates will watch them for him as he needs to get active. He starts marching on forward, Rider 2 support. It's so critical here that PSG don't overexpose to the windows, but instead it's the other way round. SCARZ fall into the lines of sight of PSG. Rider eventually goes down. It's a clutch opportunity in the 1v2 for Soldier. Still with his yokai in CEO available, and that means there's plenty of information. It means he can deny the plant. He's watching for it, but his drone gets taken out. He has to go get the other one. It's up to Soldier now to clutch it as Alligator goes down. Washoy in position with that DMR, just waiting, biding his time. And Soldier, he has to make his way forward. His yokai further back and he won't use it. No, he'll take the fight directly, but SCARZ will get the better of him. A 1v1 for Washoy and a round on the board for the Japanese.
Incredibly tense final moments of the 2 vs 1. Deimos tracker going out, Echo going on drones, and I saw the timer. They started planting with about 7 or 8 seconds left, so that could have been a round 1 by the Echo gadget. But then Deimos 180-degree flicks, looks behind him, shoots down the yokai, and then progresses forward to advance with a kill. Great attempt by Soldier, good pre-fire, juggling in that final 1v1 for the information, but SCARZ, they hold their ground, they play out the post-plant, and they come out on top with the DMR covering the angle. Bit of a back and forth. SCARZ, they go direct, they don't deal with the mirror windows vertically, and it looks like they're gonna be locked out of the bomb site. Right here, Rek low on HP, C4 takes down the guard diffuser, it actually falls outside the building, that's why Rek had to jump out again, it wasn't inside the bomb site. And then PSG starts over-rotating, 2 people die from the repels from outside, and the numbers all of a sudden favor SCARZ. So a very close one at that. Operator bans coming out, Sense being target banned. That's an incredible one.
Yeah,
it has been played, and it's a pocket. Yeah, and did it really have that big of an impact last round? It's hard to say because it didn't really work. And impact grenades destroy the roly-polies in the ground so that, you know, the walls don't work at all. But with that being said, is there anything else that they should have banned over the Sense? Has there been a bigger problem so far? I don't know.
I was considering the Dokkaebi here because it would allow the lean in for the camera-based operators. Obviously, we've seen Valkyrie, we've seen Echo, and we did see the Echo forced off their cams a few times. And the Dokkaebi is being picked here by Choppy as well. Not to mention just such a good fragger as well with that SMG-12 in close quarters. But this is something cooking here for SCARZ, the Glaz and the Monty together. This is going to be quite an execute.
It's all about the pocket strats for SCARZ. And they got so much flexibility. Bend the Sense, get the Glaz, bend the Monty, get the Blitz or the Blackbeard. There's always going to be a plan B and a plan C whenever plan A is no longer available. And this time, an even quicker roam clear. Lobby hatch popped first. Of course, Monty spending the first, actually the only heart destruction, so it's a limited attack right now. What they breach, what they're gonna have to go for, because they only have 1 more can opener in pocket. That's all they have to work with. Wait, he dropped?
Yeah, very quick and aggressive from Alligator, but Gotti once again seems to be the king of the bomb site. He does reply, he finds one. Meanwhile, Rek has already dropped down. This is a very unusual attack from SCARZ. It's a little bit back and forth. Both teams finding kills. Washoy does catch. What is he doing? God. You would be so tilted if you die to someone flank watching from a rappel when the rest of the team is in sight. PSG are going to be fuming at that.
It changed the pace, go fast inside, force the flanker. It happened last time, right? Kill that flanker. Now you advance in a numbers advantage with the Monty as well. The only thing here for SCARZ, they don't have any smokes left available. 1 Lion charge, 2 frag grenades, and the Monty. Monty can walk in, find information, try and go for a plant, and these last 2 teammates, all they have to do is cover. There's 1 C4, 1 Toxic Babe on the defensive side for counterplay. That's it. It's gonna come down to guns.
Where's the Monty going to push? No way to enter without vaulting here. And there's a player on the main stairs, which allows for a bit of a crossfire. That's Misa. The dangerous player I'm worried about here, if I'm SCARZ, is Gotti. Oh, yeah. What is that from Misa?
What?
A big flank. Rek exposed to the hatch. Should have been aware that there was a player upstairs. And now SCARZ feel the need to go for a push. And it's just a shot through the smoke. It makes it a 1v1
35.
for Fishlike. Misa now, he has that C4. It gets tossed on out. Tanked it. And Fishlike, he's going for the kill with the pistol, but he backs on away again. Oh, the wall bang! ADS and wall bang. SCARZ, that's 2 rounds on the trot on the attacking side. And the scoreline is once again even.
Oh, you just know Misa's gonna look at that one back and go, oh my god, how did I lose that? But you're probably gonna be in the worst case scenario possible. Close quarter, DMR in hand with the zoom scope. It's a hard gunfight to take, and really good recognition here from Fishlike, understanding my win condition as the Monty in the 1v2. I gotta go for the first kill very aggressively, gets the smoke back onto Gotti. That's the first step, but he doesn't stop there. He cannot go for a 7-second plant against the defender that is right next to him. He has to go on the offense, he has to go for the kill, and he does so absolutely successfully. I told you SCARZ can show up on bank. And yes, they finally found the 2 rounds, but in all 4, this is the pace they've been trying to set. But they've been unsuccessful because Gotti were finding pick after pick, Misa flank after flank. The only thing that made that round kind of scary was Misa somehow being able to walk up the main staircase and flank the glass to drop the elevator hatch. And there were 2 flank drones from SCARZ, one inside of lobby itself and one in tellers. Odds are both of them were either too far away to have the sound cue of Misa flanking and maybe not turned the correct way to actually visually see that area of the map. Regardless though, we are now tied. The series has officially started on the 2nd map. And SCARZ, they're not gonna slow down. Monty being brought out once more. This time Sophia being brought out in case of... I don't know. I was gonna say a clash, but it's banned, so I don't really know what the Sophia is for, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I don't think
could just be self-destruction.
Yeah. I mean, Zoph is a pretty good, well-rounded operator. If it wasn't for her being a 1-speed, I think we would see her a lot more often. But I think that's why people often see her as a little bit more of a
speed shaming. Okay.
Well, nobody wants to play a slow operator. You know, you make a lot of noise. It takes ages to get around the map. Thankfully, rappelling is obviously a lot faster than it used to be.
Okay, you're talking to the person whose favorite operator is Monty. Doesn't like slow operator. I love slow operators.
A lot of people don't.
Shields don't count, though, to be fair.
No, shields are very different. Very different category.
I guess the case here is that Sophia was changed not that long ago. She lost her soft breaching charges and then got the can opener, the hard breaching charges instead. So she can now bring the hard destruction needed. I personally would love a Grim here, but I'll also say Grim doesn't bring soft destruction, which Sophia does bring, in case you want that for the shield or an Asami or something like that. So, fair game. Scar. Wrong melee button.
Wrong melee button. That was so pitiful. He thought he was going to smash the wall and he just makes this tiny little hole.
He gets in the 2nd try, and while that happened, opening kill as well for Aegator on the Twitch DMR. PSG, I worry for them here. They are sitting in their corners waiting. They're being reactive right now. They are waiting for SCARZ to make the first play, and then they want to lash out. But they got the full map control, they got a strong set of operators, and they have enough time to work with because there isn't a GUI on the board for this one. I feel like we're missing a flank, we're missing a C4 play, we're missing something. They're all 4 shoulder to shoulder almost in a line on the bomb site. SCARZ don't know that if everything is clear just yet, but Monty will figure it out just in a second.
Yeah, and these doors in the basement barricade, oh, this is a big player to find out. Otherwise, Choppy would likely die, overexposing himself to Soldier in electrical. Ooh. Now, InSquare does get back to site. Meanwhile, Misa's actually dropped down below. It's good to have a player in blue stairs late in the round here, and with 20 seconds to go, it is very late. SCARZ need to make this execute happen.
15 seconds
One more gas babe available for Gotti. It gets tossed on out. That's a long shot from Ryder. PSG maybe on the ball here. They've brought it back, even though SCARZ are executing. And Gotti, once again, such a machine on this anchor. The diffuser is going down, but I don't think it's going to matter because PSG Talon simply overwhelm SCARZ and get another defense. They're up 3-2. One more round in the half.
Bit of a puzzling situation there. So Monty actually drops the diffuser for the Sophia, and Monty walks in ADS to take a gunfight with somebody else, a Twitch maybe or something like that. I feel like there's a world there where you can just take the Monty with diffuser, walk in safely as you're covered by the shield, and try and hold F on your keyboard, and everybody else is covering the position. They try and go for a bit of a surprise play, I guess, in this case, and PSG, they're playing reactively, but they do seem to find the answers every single time. Ryder got what looked like a wallbang kill with the SMG 12 to start things off. Misa was downstairs going for a flank up the servers to lock down any potential threat on square. It's good for PSG because they're doing what they need to do, but I feel like these rounds, it's SCARZ that could be doing more to stop PSG from winning those moments. Still got a chance to tie things up to 3-3, and I feel like they are very capable of it. They're going through a lot of different attack and operators right now, everybody re-picking onto something else as they keep getting more information from what the defenders are doing right now. And the being for PSG, they're doing the same old, right? It's going to be a plant deny, turtle downstairs, mirror window, Goyo canisters, toxic babes. Not too many changes because, again, what you're doing is working, so why change it up?
Oh, one last chance. Do you think SCARZ going to have more success on the defense, Pengu?
That's my worry. Like, I'm sitting here thinking the exact same thing. I do feel like in my mind, SCARZ, a lot of their highlights are on the attacking side from my memory, my memory bias. Right now, I think individually, there's no outstanding player. Choppy is 0-5, Rek is 4-5. There's nobody who's actually positive. Well, actually, Washoy is 4-3, but he's only died 3 times in 5 rounds. This is one of those. Yeah. But there's no outstanding performer, there's no crazy fragger, there's no explosiveness really.
And there's no player that like comes to mind when you're like, who's had a big impact? You know, on the defense, it's absolutely got to for PSG. Is like every single round, even though he is 7-2, so he's got a good scoreline anyway, but he's just always on the site, making things way harder for SCARZ to execute. And if it wasn't for him, I really think that SCARZ would probably be up 3-2 or even better at the moment.
Yeah.
In a way, PSG can afford to have Yas going on the donut right now. I don't think SCARZ can afford Choppy being on the donut.
Yeah,
and
that's exactly it.
It's not even like you can be like, oh yeah, well, Rek has been so good on this shield. Like, nothing is specifically that memorable except for SCARZ as a team going for some interestingly ballsy plays.
Yeah, I guess the flexibility of how many different operators they've shown us, that's the highlight. But just playing a bunch of different operators in itself isn't good enough. It's how you use them and, of course, the success in the rounds. Bit of a slow one right now for SCARZ. There's a Goyo canister on the A hatch, so now they gotta pop that first, wait 20 seconds, then go for the heart destruction upstairs. So SCARZ, and the Two-Brow still has 3 in pocket.
It's gonna burn time.
So you can stop. Yeah, about 30 seconds plus minus. Plus there's Goyos on the side still, I believe. The mirror window and Sura to deny more heart destruction. This is PSG banning the Hibana and the Ace and now playing around that full fact on the final round, choking out SCARZ's options. They're gonna have to go for like a, 10-second execute? 5v5, Choppy low on health. This is gonna be very intense. And PSG, they gotta really pray that Gotti is alive in this one as well to smoke the correct areas and hold the right ones because they're gonna be dropping hatches, holding angles, and trying to go for a plant in the very tail end of this one.
Yeah, and the way that SCARZ can win this is by leveraging the Ying of Washoy as another gas from Gotti goes out. He's got one more left. He's got it in hand, ready to toss it out. In goes Rek. He's the one with the diffuser. Misa goes down. SCARZ are erupting onto the bomb site and they're finding the frags with it. Rek forcing down that diffuser behind the chassis, protected by the Grim, getting that information. Ryder up against the world now. And it looks like SCARZ may indeed tie up the half as we close it. It is the final kill from Ayagata. And finally, the Japanese show us the fire that we have seen teased from them all series.
And this is the hard thing about playing defense against that particular attack. Holding your nerve. SCARZ started popping the Grim Bees and the flashbangs on the Candelas, and then the second that happens, PSG, they're tossing out smoke after smoke and the C4, stacking them together on the same point, not denying anybody. And SCARZ, they were smart. They waited a solid 3-4 seconds before pushing in, and during that 3-4 seconds is when they tossed out the C4. So now Blackbeard gets a free entry behind the chassis, goes for a plant, and they're still just spamming those Candelas. So it's a tough one because, of course, what are you going to do if you are fully blinded as a defensive team? Well, they had a BP camera for a good while. They had the Toxic Babes stalling for time. The Goyo Fire had just expired. If you hold your nerve just a little bit longer, of course, you're just going to be fine enough with the C4. But SCARZ, kudos to them. They played it well. They played aggressive, and they are not afraid to go all the way through with very few seconds left in the round. Operator bans, again, double shield. This time the Blackbeard and the Monty clash. On defense, I guess triple shield and Kaid for those hatches and walls.
Yeah, those guys really don't want them to have shields, huh? We see a lot of these Kaid really as well. So, yeah.
Just sucks to deal with Kaid.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes things so much simpler, right? Without the Kaid on the board, just focus on the hard breach. Because you really need in this meta, like you need those extra spice operators, whether it's a shield or a Capitao or a Grim or a Ying. You just can't make executes work without them.
It comes down to stretching your operator lineup very thin, right? If you have Kaid open, you gotta play EMPs or Thatcher every single round, just in case there's a Kaid and you want to open up a wall or a hatch. And that's the problem. Whereas if there's a bandit on the board, well, on Bank, not the most impactful bandit map, first of all. Secondly is that there's usually like simply grenades, capital fire, verticality, cheeky lines of sight. You know, there are many more simple ways to deal with a bandit that most operators can accomplish. Whereas Kaid is a much more specific counter in EMPs, and fighting that character in the first place requires some drones or an IQ, so it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of effort. And the same thing goes with Clash. Is Clash the strongest defender in the game? Probably not. She's good, sometimes she's great, some players are better than others at playing the operator, but more than anything else, she's incredibly frustrating to play against, and the same can be said for something like a Monty or Blackbeard or a Blitz. Yes, they are strong in their own ways, but it's just not fun to deal with as most operators. If you're a Jaeger against the Monty, what are you gonna do about it, James? You're gonna die or run away. Like, that's your two options.
Well, as things flip and we change sides, we see somewhat of a similar defense set up from SCARZ as we just saw last round from PSG, even down to the mirror on the wall into server, placed facing server, so it can be opened on up before the action phase starts. We've got the Goyo, even the Tubarao, so it's much of the same time delay type game when it comes to the late round. You've got the smokes, you've got that Warden in case there's a Ying brought to the table. Instead, we see quite a rare choice of shield for PSG. The Osa, sometimes we see used on the top floor, but very rarely do we see this these days used on the basement.
There's two great use cases for Osa here. One is you go garage. You have the shield in your hands, you can walk in, place it down, take a fight, and just force the garage control. The second is that you can take server control, the more default take, if you will, and you can then, instead of planting on the default wall that has like the long line of sight towards garage and whatnot, you plant on the opposite wall to the left. And then you put down the Osa shield, plant behind it, Wreck gets caught, hiding upstairs. Or pushing upstairs, I guess.
I don't know.
Bit of a freebie for Misa.
I'm not sure what the plan was there. I'm not sure whether that was just right time, right place for Misa, or and Wreck just impacted that wall and tried to run through, or whether PSG were aware of it and then Wreck was trying to escape. But regardless, yeah, not a good start. Can I just throw something your way, Pengu, by the way? In that first half,
throw it.
We saw 5 rounds SCARZ get the opening pick. It was only 1 round that PSG got it. And by the way, they lost that round as well. So it has been, funnily enough, the team that gets the opening kill, more often than not, is actually losing these rounds.
Yeah, and it's awkward because we saw Elevate have the same issue yesterday as well, where they get so many opening kills, yet they troll half the rounds. And that's the thing, getting opening kill as a statistic is not the big conversation. It's about conversion rate. How often can you make the 4v5 into a round victory? The C4, a little bit too much off to the side. PSG players sprinting away. Here we see the Osa in action, 2 Goyo canisters, 1 single grenade will do a lot of damage here. Or you can just pop them yourself. Mashoy, with the door barricaded beneath him, has to just play for stalling time. the longer he stays alive for, the better his job will be. So just simply, it's not about kills. Getting a kill is a cherry on top. It's about how much can you stall PSG's attack.
Yeah, the thing is that mirror window enables an extra line of sight for the rest of his team to support him. He can hold on for a long time. Ooh, this is nice though. Alligator is forced back. Now the door is opened. There are grenades on the Ossa of Soldier. It's going to make it very difficult for Washo to survive. Oh no, the timing is so poor for him. He activates his glasses at the exact moment Misa swings him, and it's a free kill for the Koreans. 5v3 as SCARZ set up. 30 seconds to burn, but I'm not sure if they can hack it.
Yeah. This is the Osa plant, by the way. That's what enables you can plant in the door on the wall to the left. The smoke miss. You can just start planting here, honestly, if you're a soldier. Nothing's stopping you. There's one C4, one babe. Last babe tossed out. Did it miss as well? It missed. It's a free C4.
The C4 is big here, and that destroys the shield as well. Gotti has to plant exposed in the 3v3 now. The rest of PSG have to get desperate, and they do. Very aggressive from Misa to make sure that that plant will go down. And now it's all up to Choppy. He missed one of his gas babes, and unfortunately for him, that allowed a little bit of a window of opportunity. The Nitro Cell might have killed one player, but PSG had such a numbers advantage they could simply fill it with another player and then send every other remaining attacker towards the defense to prevent them from pushing for that plant denial. Now the flashes are making this a real headache for poor Choppy. And it looks like it's going to be a kickoff on the second half. The PSG starting strong on the attacking side. Everything from opening kill to the execute. Choppy won't even be able to save the KD. He is hunted on down. And SCARZ on the back foot once again.
Choppy having a hard time right now, and I hate looking at numbers and going, oh, he's 0-6. He's not playing good enough, because frankly, I don't care how many kills he has. That round he's playing smoke. He has a sole purpose in that round to deny the planter. Every single toxic babe missed the mark. All three of them. It was a C4 that ended up saving SCARZ for a few seconds before PSG beautifully, by the way, and very quickly went for plan B. Plan A, plan B on the Osa shield. The second that happens, Thermite takes the plant position, Misa gets the Capital smokes out and insta-smokes the rotation, and they know all they can do is just pray that it works. However, had Choppy hit any of those three toxic babes, there will be no plant. And the Osa won't even need to be C4'd, and they will likely win on time alone, or be forced to run deep into the bomb site, which makes things even more risky, because all those long lines of sight from the soft angles that are opened up. So Choppy, again, I don't care about the scoreline, but the use of utility, the role of playing the smoke in that round, that might have cost you your first defensive round, and now you're gonna go to a different approach instead, right? You're gonna go open area, you're playing the bandit for a bit of wall deny, trying to get cheeky with it. But SCARZ, they gotta just be more accurate in utility usage on defense, because on bank, it's all about plant deny.
On this top floor, instead of that Osa, it's the Blitz. I like this gridlock. I've seen a bit of gridlock recently. I'm trying to remember, who was it playing gridlock yesterday? We had some big plays. Or was it on the Osa day? Man, we've seen so many games.
It's been a lot of siege.
In the last 48 hours. Everything just blurs in together. But it's nice when gridlock comes in. Oh, here we go. That's exactly what you need from
I thought you didn't like one-speed operators, James. Shaming Sophia for being slow and says, nice that we see gridlock play. Oh, the spies with the Aussie operator. C4 downtown. Good utility usage. Takes down Soldier.
I can't commentate because you got me cracking up at the moment. But Blitz just tried to solo it. And rush with 2 minutes left on the board, by the way. Straight into Janitors. Not it for Soldier. Bit uninspired there. Well, I mean, it was quite inspired for PSG. Just not a very inspiring result.
Just a great counterplay. And I hate to say it, but this is one of those moments where, this round is over. Like, of course, PSG can still win, but we're talking like 5% win chance. They have no map control. They're not in the building. They're completely and utterly locked out. And their, execute was gonna be that Blitz. Rex swings out, does no damage, gets injured from behind, I suppose. Now it looks a bit better because very quickly they make that mini play happen successfully. And against Choppy 0-6, so just to slander him some more, they're playing 3-3. So it's still winnable, I guess.
Oh, that is rough.
Sorry,
hey,
Choppy.
Yas is 0-7, so get off Choppy's back and go have a go at one of your own players.
Oh, that's actually crazy. I haven't noticed that we have bot Yas in the server. Oh, Choppy got a kill! Let's go! It's the C4 from downtown. The utility usage, redeeming himself from the terrible smoke last round.
He's also killed Gotti, which is the second top fragger in the server. Now it's just Misa, and I guess Yas, if you count him at the moment.
It's a nice skin there, James, no?
What skin is that? I actually am not quite familiar.
PSG Talon Damo skin that just came out the other week.
Oh,
it's in the
see, I haven't-
esports shop right now.
I haven't received a code
Not again.
from that one,
Oh
so
my God.
I actually am not
Not
aware of
again.
it.
Calling manager, can we get the Mara code, please, so he can start bias casting some more?
I will bias cast with you when you send me that code. Otherwise, I'm SCARZ all the way, all day long. This Zoto canister makes things a little bit awkward. Eventually gets shot down. It's all on Misa. Can he break 10 kills? Can he clutch up big? Nope, neither. And it's SCARZ. A much needed round after what happened on the basement. They fire up and defense finally on the board.
Yeah, and I mean, and again, that round was over the second the 2-piece comes out for SCARZ. It was a nice attempt for PSG getting the kill upstairs and advancing towards the bomb side. But when you put that much investment into executing on generators here with the Blitz, well, when it doesn't work out, you lose a lot with that. And then the C4 from Choppy confirms Gotti's death as well. Another hot drop from Yas, I like it. It looks so funny.
Oh, well, top floor is going to be any better. The funny thing is, like, SCARZ kind of played, obviously, with that setup with the mirrors and janitor's closet when playing the bomb site downstairs. They kind of played this bomb site in a way already, just like pseudo with the extension. So with that mirror in tow again, fish-like on the Echo, it could actually be kind of similar to the defense we saw from PSG in the first half.
I like the Wamai here a lot, actually. It's so obviously back in the day, we always had Jaeger played every single round. Then when Wamai came out, we started seeing Jaeger and Wamai combined in that utility meta. And then in recent history, like the last 2 years, give or take, maybe 3 years at this point, we've almost not seen a single Jaeger Wamai unless we're talking like bar defense on Chalet with the double shield upstairs, or we're talking catwalk rafters on Clubhouse to defend the catwalk player. I do feel like there's a lot of space and opportunity for Wamai or Jaeger in a given round, just because we don't see players flashbang check for ADSs these days. You just toss in a high-value smoke grenade or a frag grenade thinking, they're not gonna stop this. And we've seen multiple times the last 48 hours, a player go for a frag grenade, be like, oh, there's an ADS. And they throw a second frag grenade, it's like, oh, there's another ADS. And you just don't have enough throwables to clear it. And of course, we also gotta mention the old school nerf. Flashbangs, you used to have 3 of them. Now you only have 2. Yeah. So Jaeger and Wamai technically gets a mini buff because of that, because there's less clearing in general. But yeah.
Back in the day, people brought flashbangs specifically just for burn. Like, you didn't actually want to flash anyone. They were just like, to get rid of these ADS, especially back in the day when an ADS didn't recharge, when it just could chew up 2 throwables and that was it. It was literally just bring 2 operators with flashbangs and they use all their gadgets and it burns the ADSs. Now you really need to place those flashes
I can do you one better. What about the time where Hibana's Skyros got caught by one single punk and it's all gone.
Dude, I remember back in the old Clubhouse dirt hard hold with smoke meta when it was always like the Blackbeard versus the smoke. I remember a team just had 1 set of Hibana pellets and then a perfectly cooked nade to follow, and Smoke did not know what hit him.
This Smoke though, God's vision for the glass and protection. Wallbang gets 1 bullet of damage. Not enough for a kill or an injure. Soldier needs to find something here because these smokes don't last forever.
No. And he's very exposed now. He decides to fall back again. Now just watching for any Valkyrie cameras or the Yokai drones. Oh, this is a bit awkward. As we're in close range, it's better to have that bearing 9 out. He's low HP. That's a very aggressive jump out from Ayagator. Soldier not expecting that level of aggression. Misa not able to support. I don't know what Ryder was doing. Even Gotti here. All of these players should have been able to trade that kill at the very least. But PSG looking worse for wear. Ayagator's going to find a second one. Finally something for the Koreans, but it doesn't last long, as Ryder is taken out as well. I don't know what to do now for PSG. Gotti needs to get off rappel and get to site. There's 25 seconds left and not a single player is in the building. We've only had one player from PSG get their boots on the ground. The rest are just dangling off these windows like Spider-Man. Come on, it's time to get a wriggle on. 10 seconds to play. SCARZ are sitting there looking at their watches saying, anytime soon, guys, whenever suits you. Rek will quickly take down Gotti. This has been an absolutely pitiful attack from PSG. 1-8, Yas isn't going to even try and make anything happen. And with that, SCARZ take the lead without really doing anything.
Very puzzling round. There was a plethora of utility in the pocket of alive players. So Glass goes in 2 smokes and dies to really jumping through the window. Nobody on any window repels exterior of the map gets the kill. And Soldier loses the gunfight himself. Raora had 2 smokes in pocket. Cavitao 2 smokes with the crossbow. I feel like there's a world where you just like smoke it for the glass. He can walk in comfortably, take the gunfight. I also feel like when you use those smokes early on with the glass and you check the entire room, it's clear. Surely you lock down the angle so that nobody can walk back into that room and retake the position. So very small mistake there from Soldier and the rest of his team not playing enough together. And SCARZ, again, they are just lashing out at the right time, punishing in the right ways. The weakness of the glass is you're playing with a DMR in close quarters. An automatic weapon or a DMR and counter response can quite easily take down that operator of the glass. They undercooked that one. Could have done a lot more in that round. PSG now playing from the back foot, but on the technically favorable side of attack, comes down to execution. If SCARZ can keep punishing PSG, that would be the way to gain momentum and win more of these rounds. And for PSG, they have to be like flawless. They have to be more perfect. They gotta play a more precise round of Siege where they're not leaving all these gaps to be exploited.
Yeah. Well, we're down to the basement now, and it looks like PSG are not done cooking. It's the Sens and Blitz combo. What is the idea here? Are they going to go for a rear take again? Are they going to... Oh, sorry, was SCARZ that went for the rear takes? I'm trying to remember. Again,
SCARZ went for the rear take, and PSG went for the server take with the OSA.
That's right, and that one
on
worked
their first
out.
attempt.
Maybe this is going to be a rear take, though. We've got 2 tin can openers. I can see the Sens being really valuable for a rear take.
Yeah. I'm a little bit surprised about Rek's tendencies here on both basement defense. He's hiding. Last time it was top floor, and then Impact ran out into square. He died. He's gonna get droned here to see his feet. I think he needs to fake drone it, leave the drone partially. He thinks it's clear now for Rek.
Oh, he spotted the drone.
He sees the drone now though. So in a perfect world, you fake drone him and you don't give away the fact that you have the information, and then you can maybe just run him down with the blitz, of course. The issue is for PSG, they don't know if every other rat's corner is clear. If there's one rat, often there's a second or third somewhere else. Rek will now fall back to open area, play the fallback game instead when PSG either apply enough pressure, like opening hatches, etc., or when the timer gets low enough for SCARZ to think, you know what, we have stalled for long enough, we'll fall back. Rek re-aggresses and dies to Misa. Rek sometimes playing passive is the way forward. Now when he dies, Fishlike is forced to drop shortly after because he cannot stick around alone.
I actually really like the shotgun pick here from Misa. Not only has he got, obviously, that pistol so good in mid to long range fights, but that shotgun is so good for things like blue stairs, even dropping down directly into sight. There's a lot of close quarters on this basement. And like I was saying, talk about the staircase, have a look at this. We've got Washoy running M870 shotgun with the Jaeger, looking to try and soak up as much util as possible. It's not the Warden, but the Jaeger this time.
I think they're using the Warden for bomb set instead. Has that C4 in pocket, can see through the smokes and the flashbangs, and then Jaeger can just kind of play in this passive position, or well, not passive position, but rather he has passive utility. The ADS's Blitz goes down, but again, the flashbang here should be good.
This should be it. You should have some support as well. The flashbang goes out. Good blind, and Washoy finished off. Choppy now, he's prepared his lineup, and the first smoke goes out, but that's only going to whittle away 30 seconds, and there's 45 to go. Oh, what are you doing, Yas? Stick your head in. Aiget is going to take it clean off. Poor Yas, 1 and 9. Absolutely devastating showing from him. Has not helped his team very much, and of course, that's also the Sens. His util was paramount to this attack, and now the defense are definitely favored here. One more gas remains for Choppy as Soldier goes in deep and looks to plant behind the chassis. You would have thought Goes for the turtle plant. Choppy, I don't think his gas is landing on it. The C4 might. No, it doesn't even. And it doesn't matter that Gotti gets taken down on the rear side because Soldier and Ryder have the post plant.
So hold on to this, the 2v2 retake. Thing is, PSG playing one gun up above and a blitz shield inside a server full intel. They know exactly where SCARZ are.
Oh, easy.
Oh, he finds both. The collateral, the round confirmation, and again, a single C4 not hitting the correct mark will again lose SCARZ around. The C4 looked good for me, but he angled it a little bit incorrectly. I think it went to the right a little bit too much. Doesn't hit the blitz, bomb goes down. We gotta praise PSG for being so quick at adapting when things go wrong. The second Yas died, we see Soldier being abandoned inside our server as the blitz diffuser. We see Gotti going for a backstep lobby right here, the distraction game, and another player, I didn't see who, walked down the main stairs or dropped the corner hatch. It's a distraction game where you're investing almost every single player to guarantee the plant going down. However, had SCARZ played it correctly and the C4 landing, the plant would have been denied, and with that, the round should have been theirs.
Yeah, all it would have taken there from SCARZ. Well, we're down to breakpoint here. Next team to find a round has map point. If it's PSG, that means it's match point after winning Clubhouse. And we go down to staff room open area. Now this has been played just the once before by SCARZ. It was a solid defense win for them. It was also won both times by Talon on their defense. Last time around, SCARZ just completely obliterated PSG off-site with those two very quick early kills. PSG need to make sure they don't feed like that again. However, it actually is quite a different setup. Wait, is this staff room? It is. Okay, sorry. For
it's open area.
I was a bit confused for a sec. Yeah, the difference is we don't have the mirror this time around because of that ban coming on through. So we're going to have to see a bit of a pivot from SCARZ.
Curious how PSG can enable Yas more in the server. It feels like to me that Yas is just not, I don't want to say mentally in it, but like he's just making these kind of blunders, like sticking his face down the hatch with the sense, not even checking the angle first, not droning it, not having Blitz check it for him. Individually, not really getting in many gunfights, is often one of the last players alive in a really tough position. So it's about enabling Yas utility-wise, right? Right now, they're slapping Yas on the ace. He can breach open the wall, he can hold the flank, he can watch drones. This is a great way to utilize a player who's not having the best game individually, but look at this. A blitz hot drop on the shotgun. There's nobody really on the bomb site, by the way. This is almost exactly clear. There's one defender, that's it, and he's very far away.
And down they go, straight in. Misa to cover with the pistol. He spots out one player. That's a bit of damage done. Now he has to reload. Soldier tries to convert the kill, but no!
What?
He gets exposed. Misa to trade, but SCARZ, they've fallen back to site. And PSG, despite that explosive push, it might have cleared the roamers by forcing them back to site, but it has left them bloodied just as much.
I feel like they could have gone for a fast plant there instead, or at the very least if other attackers acting with them. You're 2v1 the guy on the bomb site, but again, we saw they can fall back very quickly. The Flashman Soldier didn't connect. Now you're back to a 3-on-3. Diffuser, of course, in the middle of the site itself. SCARZ, they know that's going to take the fight to them. He wins both kills?
Yeah, and now it's all up to Ayagator. He's found the first. Diffuser isn't down as of yet. In fact, it's caught on the ground. It's up to Ryder and Gotti. Man, Gotti has had such a good game so far, but he doesn't seem to be aware of where Ayagator has snuck on through. Oh. Spots for 1 second.
Oh, no.
Gotti swings and confirms the kill. It is match point and series point for PSG Talon.
PSG are winning these rounds in the worst way possible. Individual heroics. And it's true. They did not strategically play that well. Gotti gets 3 kills. He was in a 1v2 at a 90-degree angle, fighting to the right, fighting to the left. And you're thinking, realistically, he's gonna get one of those kills and get traded. He somehow kills both players. That's the only reason why they were in that 2 versus 1. And he swings the third as well. You can also tell Gotti's really feeling it right now. He challenged, or ego challenged that final player, wide swing in the window, instead of going for a safe plant and cover. That's what happens when somebody's 12-6 winning every single gunfight. Against SCARZ, which, you know, on the leaderboard of things, they come in dead last for playoffs in 6th place. Again, very close race. One game could have made the difference. You can make these kinds of plays and you can escape winning 2-0 in a best of 3 or 2-1 in a best of 3 when you go up against Damwon or FearX or CAG, the other top dog teams in the region, you're not going to win those rounds. You shouldn't be winning those rounds. And that's why I'm saying they're winning in the worst way possible, because I know and they know this is not good enough for the level that they should be playing at and level that their competition will be playing at. SCARZ, they should have won this Oregon Bank in my mind. If those 2 C4s, they hit their marks, they win this 7-4. Done and dusted, that's it. They go third map. PSG are relying on SCARZ making some mistakes and then themselves clutching up in these massive moments on individual levels.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well for whichever team goes on forward to play D+ later on. Obviously D+, quite new to the region with their Brazilian roster, but they have looked pretty deadly. They managed to get top 2. It's going to be a tough battle for either of these teams deeper into the bracket. And let's not forget about CAG, who decimated Kinotrope before. Let's not forget about FearX, who are CAG's opponent in the game right after this. It's a very chockers full region. There's so much talent, so many teams that are contesting for the top spots.
Bonk. It's a nice little info game right now for PSG. They're trying to map out the layout. Where are things happening? Where is the utility? The drone is just above the bar. You could try and Twitch drone it maybe if you wanted to. Yes, as a spare pocket, but he's on the Garrett side of things, so very much far away from the spot. If you see a Yokai drone, Blitz going in that room is a bad idea. The Yokai stun, when you use the gadget, is gonna shield guard break Soldier completely. No, Wreck, good for opening, anyway. Takes down a rider. That's Dokkaebi. Blitz is in. Where's the Echo stun? That's the real question.
He shot it. He went in and went to ADS the Echo drone before taking any other fights.
Oh, okay. So interesting.
Good target from Soldier.
Buys the map space, buys some time on the map. Bit of damage going out, no kill confirmed though.
Oh, I
like the SCARZ are just peeling back the layers.
Yeah, well, Choppy is also going for a flank. Meanwhile, as they've given up the advantage, they go in for a swing. That's a big opening here for Choppy. It's just Gotti left. Man, this guy has put the team on his back. 13-6. He needs 4 kills now to secure the map before going to overtime. He can't find the first one, and SCARZ have sent us the distance. Casa, tick another one off the list. We're going to overtime.
Yeah, there it is. Not surprised in the slightest that Bang will go the distance after the last couple of rounds. And I think this is good. Now we can see who can really go the distance, whip out the pocket strats, do the new thing, go for the counter plays, who has the right read on their opponent. It's funny because when you go into overtime, a lot of things often change in the server. Everyone's risk assessment changes. You go from making all these big plays and you have no pressure because you got rounds to play. Now it's 6-6. If you lose one of these upcoming rounds by making the wrong decision, you might lose your team the entire game at this point. So we tend to see teams go a little bit slow on the attack and not play as aggressive on defense. And that can change the dynamic up very quickly. We also see some teams starting to play stuff like the Monty more frequently because, again, it's a very safe operator that brings you a lot of comfort. So now we're going to see, can SCARZ do things here on the attack and break apart these defensive setups, because PSG, they're not really doing anything differently. They're just changing around who's playing what operators, like Yas now on the Fenrir again. The more like passive utility, you can put down the PP, put down the Fenrir mines, and if he dies, it's okay. Whereas Soldier has the active C4, Gotti has the active toxic babes, because they're the anchor players that are most likely going to be alive and in those important positions.
Yeah. What do you reckon? We're going the distance, Penguin? We're going not heavy?
I think we're going 7-7 first of all, genuinely. Wow. And then it's a complete coin flip if we're gonna go night haven laps or not.
Well, both of these halves
I wouldn't mind seeing that
so far. So yeah, you can't even say, oh well, XYZ got the favored start here because it's been an attacker or defensive favored.
It's about execution.
Dreadmine goes down. Oh. Wreck in the building. It's SCARZ to open the equation. Out comes the Blackbeard. Soldier finds it. He's still being hunted down. Could be a second gunfight here. He needs to find it. His teammate needs him, but he's not going to get the chance.
What?
SCARZ jumps in from the rear side. It's a very quick and explosive attack. They dominate the bomb site. They dominate the roam game, and they find themselves their very first map point.
what just happened? I saw 2 defenders in open area and 3 attackers approaching them. And then it's a 3 versus 1 soldier. The guy whose first point of contact is the last guy alive. Quick round from SCARZ. And honestly, that's exactly the kind of round from them that I had in my mind when I'm thinking SCARZ attack. Quickly in, confidence, goes to gunfights, wins the gunfights, and look dominant and in full control. PSG had a very short defensive round to try and, take control of the momentum. They couldn't. And now they are in the back foot. They were looking in good control early on. They looked comfortable. But these last couple of rounds, it feels like to me, SCARZ, they managed to figure things out. And of course, Gotti, we've been speaking a lot about him when they're playing defensive. Wherever Gotti is, that's difficult to attack. So wherever Gotti isn't, it's going to be a little bit easier, right? That's the logic you can go by at least. Open area, SCARZ will go to, and they bring Bandit and Tubra for wall deny. As I said, in overtime, teams tend to play a little bit more passive. This definitely is a very passive lineup for them. The only operator that can really take active gunfights is going to be Valkyrie, and then Bandit, if you put down all the Bandit batteries. You really want to keep the Tubra and the Smoke alive for as long as possible. And then Fenrir can play that centerpiece between the roam and between the anchors.
Yeah. No, SCARZ. Put yourself in this spot. Now, all you gotta do is just win this one defense round. The start from open area has been pretty solid. PSG, last time around, we of course saw that crazy execute, the hot drop down the hatch with the shotgun and the blitz. It could have been a little bit better, but it still worked out in a PSG round win. This time, SCARZ have put a lot of pressure into holding onto that top floor. So wreck on that Valkyrie doing so. No reinforcements invested here onto the Kanto wall or the E1 wall, which allows Yas to open up these huge lines of sight here to cover off both floors and cut open the map. Cut a lot of these main pathways and main rotations away from PSG, or away from SCARZ rather.
Seen this before. A blitz and a C4 downstairs, and last time it ended in disaster for PSG, so Soldier has to be cautious now and conscious of the fact that history might repeat itself. The problem with PSG is that they're going for the same approach as previously, where they couldn't really get in the building. And right now, they are also mostly stuck. Oh, and the same thing happens again!
Oh, not a good nitro shot for Soldier to be met, but yeah, you're right. There is a trade. It's Rek going down. Now he can just sit on his cameras. It's a lot more valuable for SCARZ than it is for PSG, that trade. Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
You lose the blitz, you lose the map control, the push.
Oh, no.
Yas is awake, maybe awake now, gets a kill in the flank watch upstairs.
No, I think that was from the rappel onto the elevator 1 hallway. That was Alligator just making his way into the hallway here, and that's the smoke as well. So late round has just become a lot easier for PSG.
Yeah, the only problem is SCARZ are opting for this passive setup, right? The quad wall, reinforced, Bandit batteries. They're playing by the bomb site. Bandit main stairs, Fish Slide below as well, and then Washoy inside of open area. If PSG can find the anchor player for Shoy, bomb site opens right up.
Choppy.
Otherwise, here's a flanker.
What's he doing?
Does he have information? I don't think so.
Well, Yas, meanwhile, has rotated off that main cut that he was playing for the majority of the round. He has to get into the fray himself.
Washoy is flanking again.
He's the one making all that attention. It's allowed Choppy to go for that big flank. And now he's back above. He's sprung on Misa. He's found the kill.
Red pings.
He's brought it closer again. And all these players from PSG are struggling as they file into the bomb site. Gotti needs to land his shots. He's got that diffuser. Yas has got a cover. Yas is worried about the player above. He gets the critical kill, but no! He couldn't stick the defuse. SCARZ have pushed us the distance. And it's time to go to Nighthaven Labs.
Down to 0 seconds. The flank out of nowhere up the main staircase finds nobody. It's empty up top. Sees the hatch open, gets the first kill. The red pinks and Valkyrie comes out, and SCARZ, they work together on the timings. I mean, I don't know. There are so many crazy moments on Bang from both teams, and it comes down to SCARZ again having the right read, the C4 taking down the blitz. That might have just been the biggest play in that round to start things off and deny them the most important second operator for them.
Oh, it was a long and arduous clubhouse and an even longer Bang But we need another map to settle it, so stick around. Nighthaven is coming up next.
Wait, what is this doing here?
Whoa, what the hell is going on?
Guys, we need to go.
Jess, what are you doing here?
We need to go now.
Jess, Doc is gone. We have to go back.
There's no time. There's really no time.
Can't take this anymore.
I'm tired. He's our head coach. I have to go save him.
You're already dead. There's no escaping now.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's about to kick some serious ass? Remember, I'll be watching. Now you see me, now you don't.
Get ready. I'm taking them out.
Changing mags. I got this. Got my eyes on you. Located enemy.
You know how they say it's not the destination, it's the journey?
And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And you know what?
They're right.
As I was saying, we have to look at what's ahead of us now and not worry too much about
Wait,
the
did you
past.
see that?
What?
Wait, what is this doing here?
Whoa! What the hell is going on?
Guys, we need to go.
Jess, what are you doing here?
We need to go now.
Jess, Doc is gone. We have to go back.
There's no time. There's really no time.
Can't take this anymore.
He's our head coach. I have to go save him.
You're already dead. There's no escaping now.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's about to kick some serious ass? Remember, I'll be watching. Now you see me, now you don't.
Get ready. I'm taking them out.
Changing mags. I got this. Got my eyes on you. Located enemy.
Welcome back to the APL. Yeah, it's to the third map for PSG and SCARZ. We're on Nighthaven and Pengu. What to say about Bank? It was very back and forth. PSG was so close to pushing it to a 15th, but SCARZ did not let them.
You know, you scared me there for a second because I was watching the main broadcast timer. There's 4 minutes left. And I was like, why are we starting now? And it turns out I've been watching the wrong timer the entire time. I was like, oh, I got 10 minutes, fine. I look over, oh, there's still 5 minutes left, I'm good. I literally watched the wrong timer, James.
You were watching the delayed feed?
I was sitting here slouched. Yeah, I was. I was in the main broadcast feed, not the clean feed. So I was like, oh, I'm good on time. Okay, I'm here.
Wakey,
I'm so
Bank.
present. I'm so awake now. A little bit sweaty because like, oh boy, what's happening? But you're right. With a banger Bank, I gotta say. Clubhouse, a bit of a... I almost want to feel like, I want to say it's like the warm-up for the best of 3. Bank, where the teams really came to blows. For this third map. Of course, look at the basics, the breaching, the fundamentals, the crossfires, whatever. But individually, I am looking at a redemption game here, or map, for Yaz for PSG, who had an absolute stinker of a map on Bank, and Choppy, who had the same kind of poor performance. And I don't just mean in the fragging department, the decisions they're making, the C4s they're throwing. I expect to see more things from these two.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I'm hate watching.
Yeah, hate watching. I haven't heard that word for a while. That's a good one. Yeah, that's the classic dynamic, right? When you're a fan of a team, I think most of the time we get more stressed out watching teams we like than any others. The pressure really does mount. Well, it's SCARZ starting on the attacking side, and they've struggled to attack a lot of the time. They've had a lot of firepower on their attacks, but they've still struggled. Let's see if they've got the explosivity that we've seen from them. We saw it a bit on Clubhouse, a little bit on Bank too. It'd be nice to see on Nighthaven. I wonder if they're going to be all right with the Hibana trick as well, because the Thermite Ace ban has returned. We saw that from PSG Talon on the first map.
We're going to try it.
This is something
Come on, Choppy, come on.
He doesn't seem to be very good at.
No. Redemption time, okay? Or hate watching. We'll find out in a second here. So, bottom part, top part, you pop it.
Oh, no.
If this works,
he doesn't got it.
It's scuffed. It's scuffed. No, the one pellet scuffed, I think.
I think one pellet didn't detonate.
Wait,
can we have a look?
Can we confirm the wall?
Alex and Ethan, our beautiful observing team. No, we're going to watch the other one instead. No, we're gonna know.
Okay.
That's all right.
Maybe
they're in the next room. I could just go yell at
there.
them. See if we can have a look.
We'll find out later because Hibana is no longer there. A regular breach here for some flashbangs or a vault perhaps. We'll see what the goal is going to be. That's not going to be a vault breach. The thing is, you're spending all these Skyros and you got plenty of mirror windows. That's why the Ash is picked up as a secondary operator. Ash breach goes out, shatters. Now, ideally, you want to reinforce this wall off, but there's a Blackbeard right next to you, so I don't think you can afford to.
Especially
Maybe C4 and reinforce. Nope, the nade is good.
Zami tempted to go for a peek. But no. Oh, here's a good nitro. Lot of damage.
Maybe,
My God. That's an absolute nuke onto Rek. You're right. He probably could go for a reinforce straight after that nitro, but I think he's missed his opportunity. It does look like the wall has been opened, by the way, that external wall. So perhaps the Hibana trick did work.
Yes, I want to say that it did. It looked like the top part was scuffed because all the 4 pillars didn't really go in correct order, but it's fine.
Yeah, well,
I've got wire damage there.
I've noticed that PSG have been mincing up, cheese gratering those walls to try and see if it disrupts. Oh, there we go. Oh, Ryder places down a Kiva barrier and goes to the reinforcement. This is going to force SCARZ into a much more narrow point of entry. However, the breach will come through thanks to Fishlike with those secondary hard breaches. Hello!
Oh, injured.
Soldier swinging into electrical, finds his kill, looks to peek for a second. Oh, he almost loses his life. Eventually, Fishlike takes him on down, and the script has flipped. SCARZ are inching closer. Ryder's on the ground. Gotti, though, he was a saving grace on Bank. He's found one and been traded. Yas now in his 1v3. Diffuser being forced down by Fishlike. And it's going to be a lock-in from Rek. Toss him down and finish him off. SCARZ, the team to take things in the first round here on Nighthaven.
If you give SCARZ enough space to work with, they will find a way to break you apart. I like the reinforcement very late round, but then SCARZ, they just adapt the play. They go 3 people Cat or Raptor side instead and change the push entirely. Soldier, of course, caught in a bit of a bad timing, gets the injure, gets to confirm, and gets caught while swapping from the shotgun to the SMG-11 and will lose in that second gunfight. Now, that's the first round. You got all these different propositions to play on. You can swap it up. You see right here, walks in, SMG-11 swap. Oh, unfortunate. Gotti gets the first kill here. Doesn't walk far enough left to use that middle pillar to block the line of sight from Connect 4, so then he gets shot as well from the side. Small things. Gotta go basement instead, change it up. PSG have banned, is it double Heartbreach every single map now? Is that confirmed? I'm gonna double check here.
Yeah, it is, because the second map, they banned the Ace and the Hibana.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been double Heartbreacher bans. Now, obviously, if you do it, it's because you're expecting your opponent to struggle against it. I feel like SCARZ have done a pretty good job at navigating these operator bans, and you're doing it for the 3rd map in a row, so you're also giving them a lot of different reps to actually get comfortable with it.
Yeah,
I feel like it hasn't been as impactful as PSG might have hoped it would have been.
Yeah,
because Hibana trick is good in can openers.
I felt like Clubhouse it was good. I just saw SCARZ a little bit lost, not Hibana tricking on Clubhouse. Didn't think they were getting as much breaching. Didn't feel that way necessarily on Bank. And yeah, the one round we've seen so far from SCARZ in the attack, hard breach was not a problem whatsoever. They've also banned the Kaid and the Bandit, so they really want hard breach to be easy for them. And it is going to be, like, it doesn't matter, even if PSG bans another hard breacher, I think that SCARZ will find it pretty simple. Makes you wonder if PSG maybe should have banned something else, perhaps the Dokkaebi, perhaps the Monty that we know Fishlike likes. Here comes the Rayora and that Montaigne. The Candela's going out from Ying. I think that the Azami Kiba barriers might have slowed this down a little bit. Logic Bomb through as well. It's a rush. 1 minute into the round. In go the Japanese. Fishlike is forcing that diffuser down, but does he have the adequate cover? C4 takes him low, but doesn't finish him off. Misa is so close and will deny! The plan will not be confirmed. And SCARZ, they put all their eggs in one basket. PSG have flipped it. And all the eggs come crashing down. It's just 2 players left from SCARZ, Rek and Washoy. It's not been good enough. The flashes, they didn't prevent Misa from sneaking behind enemy lines. And the Rayora, I genuinely don't know what doorways that covered off and what help that had to that attack. And now PSG, they got 3 players up. They have vertical dominance. SCARZ, they have time to work with, but they need to fish for some picks.
Ridiculous play for Misa, saving the round. I think there was less than a second left as well for Fisher to get down that diffuser. And yeah, like you said, they're investing everything into one thing. When that plan doesn't go down, they don't really have a plan B. It's just to look for kills now and hope the PSG make a mistake somewhere. Sending in Washoy upstairs, looking for that vertical player. Ryder is actually falling back off the angle back towards the cargo stairs. A bit of a bait and switch here. PSG know that all they gotta do is sit back, establish the crossfires, and wait for somebody from SCARZ to make a mistake and get that freebie.
Patience is going to be a virtue for PSG, though, because SCARZ are just trying to wait them out. Gotti needs to make sure not to overextend. Same can be said for Soldier here. If he swings, he needs Gotti to swing on his contact. Ryder finds one upstairs. 1v2 now. Rex got an idea of where these players are. He has to go get that diffuser. Gotti not swinging here is the right play. No more gas remains. He's going to close up this doorway. PSG still can play this smart. Gotti's just going to quick peek it. He's trying to bait out Rek. Doesn't matter if the plant goes down. What matters is winning the round. And that's the spray down, the injure, and the finish onto Rek. Gotti continues his form from Bank. And PSG have a reply at the opening round from SCARZ.
Yeah, I mean, I like these pocket strats from SCARZ on the attacking side. And I mean, you might look at that and go, oh, it didn't work, it's bad, whatever. That absolutely coulda, woulda, shoulda worked. I mean, we're talking less than a second of difference. And I think you caught it really well. The Asami was slowing down the push. It looked like the Monty was trying to melee something on the window right before that push was coming. And that likely was going to be Misa spamming those cube barriers. And had he gone in a second earlier, the plant goes down, right? So SCARZ are trying to catch PSG off guard as much as they can. And they're trying to control the pacing of these rounds by going fast. When PSG has the right timing and has the right answer, of course, they will counter it. But more often than not, I will say, these attacks are working from SCARZ, and it's showing that they're not just that aggressive, one-dimensional team that you might think that they have been in the past, or same thing can be said for CAG, who plays in the same region of Japan. They also used to be known as a very linear, crazy, aggressive team. They don't have that much strategical depth. Both of SCARZ and CAG have changed that up in the last 6 to 12 months, where they're getting a lot more depth in their gameplay, flexibility in operator lineups, and going for these very specific pocket strats. And I love to see it from them, because it adds another layer to them as a team, as a roster. SCARZ, they're looking mighty fine. They're back on the Monty, they can take map control, they can go for roam clears, they can go for plants. It's going to be a very flexible operator for them. And honestly, just to kind of pre-call it, I would not be surprised that the Monty ban might come out here after the third round gets played.
Yeah. Hard breach already activated here from SCARZ. Getting an opening onto Garage. Now we're focusing up on the IT breach. Yas is staring at him through the wall with that cardiac sensor. Let's see, Masterclass Choppy, come on. All right.
Choppy.
Oh, he knows that the... Oh, what is that? That's such a good read. The pre-plays camera. Washoi does not hesitate. He jumps straight in to kill Yas. Jumps straight back out again. That's perfect. And now we see the breach actually has worked. The Hibana trick has been successful. And maybe we just didn't give SCARZ enough credit in that previous map about how good they are at Hibana tricking.
Definitely redeemed themselves. And Choppy himself, you know, he's actually doing supportive work. The drone, the breach. Reg finds another kill in the round. Apparently 2, actually. And they are picking apart PSG on the front lines and the back lines. A trade back from Soldier, but the damage is done. There are 2 players left on the defense, watching verticality, watching the flanks, the windows. They have no real information to work with, except for on the bomb side. So this map is completely free for SCARZ, and they got the Monty on top that can give them even more accurate information. The C4 from Gotti can, of course, change this around if he finds a kill. Oh my god, he does. He walks back into it.
Yeah, I thought that was a dud, but no. Good timing from him. Lucky. Fishlight was a bit of a magnet to that C4. Gotti's been unreal. By the way, not a player that I've ever really thought too much about, Pengu, but Gotti has been by far the best player for PSG in the last 2 maps.
Yeah, and when you look at the roles of PSG, it's actually slightly concerning that the support player is the one to step up, right? And get those couple of kills, or that many kills rather, because it means the front lines aren't doing their job correctly.
Come on, high set.
So Gotti is only getting all these kills because he has to, because no one else really is. That can be a bit of a concern, but if it works, it works. And in the 2v3, the Soldier and Gotti both steps up here. It is absolutely winnable. They got Evil Eyes inside, bulletproof camera. Planting will be difficult for SCARZ because Monty got C4'd by Gotti.
And Gotti's got the mobility of playing an operator that can move upstairs quickly. Ayagator, though, shuts him down. The plant will be confirmed. Soldier really needed that headshot, but he missed his chance. A flashbang right on him. He decides to peek into it. I think he's surely a dead man now. He goes back out again. He's walking into a crossfire here. If he ducks, he might have some cover from Washo while he takes the fight with the other player. 25 seconds, 26 bullets in the magazine. He's spotted as he jumps on inside, and a convincing round from SCARZ back in the lead.
And as I was saying, it might be hard to plant, and I was absolutely wrong. Despite the red pings, the yellow pings, the plethora of information, nothing really happens with it. There is a world where maybe Gotti goes downstairs, the shotgun stuff going upstairs instead, but that's a 50-50, right? There could be an attacker in either direction. Operator bans, oh wow, they're actually gonna go all the way on Hibana and really lock down those walls, leaving only Maverick and can openers for SCARZ remaining 3 rounds. SCARZ in return, they ban the mirror to easing up their attacking lineup, right? Now they don't gotta play the Ash, they don't gotta worry about the mirror windows throughout the round. And of course, it's also a passive C4 that you can remove from action because mirror will always bring a C4. This further enables using shields. It further enables bombs that execute as long as they can get past the first wall of IT and connector. And now Choppy, who was Hibana tricking, has to go on to Maverick tricking instead. It's more risky. It can be a bit harder to pull off consistently without dying to a C4, without taking a bunch of damage. But Choppy, he's locked in right now, okay? He is getting those walls opened up and he is not failing.
Yeah. Well, SCARZ are the ones who have started so strong on this map. It's really starting to put some pressure on PSG. In terms of the momentum of this series, Pengu, map 1 definitely felt all PSG. There are a few nice moments there for SCARZ, but it was the more decisive of the 2 first maps. I was definitely thinking, okay, I don't think SCARZ are quite on PSG's level. That has really flipped. I know that it was a very close bank that SCARZ ended up winning, but with how this map, the first 3 rounds of which have gone down, just knowing that it's attack, which I had not expected SCARZ to be so good at, I think that I'm starting to favor the Japanese here. The last 2 maps, obviously they've won the majority of rounds. And in these last 3, in the first opening to Nighthaven, their attacks have been really good.
They have. They're scaling, as one would say, in this best of 3, getting better as the rounds go on. And I think a lot of this comes down to being able to read your opponent, understanding what they're trying to accomplish and what you gotta do to answer back with the counterplay. Because SCARZ from Clubhouse and then all the Nighthaven Labs looks like 2 different teams that are fighting PSG specifically right now. Gone 6 goes out, Fire as well. Rek getting some space in the catwalk rafters. Main breach opened up by the cannon openers. No real Walter now, of course, because Bandit and Kaida both gone. You can only put down those mute jammers. Secondary and peak gets the job done, or a bit of verticality, or a grenade. SCARZ are making pretty quick pace. They got what they want. They got the primary breach, they got catwalk rafters. That's step 1 done.
Fire comes out as well to enable a more extensive take from Rek. I feel like this is pretty early to have this much control. My question is, where is SCARZ going to put the rest of their pressure? Because it's pretty challenging to only push from IT and rafters. You either need top blue, which is going to be exactly where Fishlike is moving in now. And despite the near side effect of the Dreadmine, he still finds a kill onto Gotti. Not only is that one of the top fraggers here from PSG across the last 2 maps, but that's also your smoke operator, the main util we need. We need some aggression from PSG to try and get it back. And here is Rafters control, ascertained by Yas. PSG have brought the guns to life. But guess what? The backstab, the rotate from Ayagator. He retakes that position. He's got the flashbangs to make this work. Ryder and Misa.
Well, the flank.
Misa's spotted on this flank, and I think that Ayagator is going to win it. He does. It's all up to Ryder now. Plant going down from Fishlike. PSG are a shadow of their former selves. SCARZ are starting to run away with Nighthaven. 3 rounds on the attack.
It's such a good read from SCARZ again. I mean, you're explaining it. You gotta go catwalk rafters, but then you need either connector control and go from that portion side of the map, or you gotta go aqua. You gotta get 2 of those 3 positions, or all 3 if you're that good. There's no backup player supporting Gotti on aqua stairs. So he's smoking off the door, Blitz runs through it, goes to the flash, and just ADS kills the smoke operator. No trade, no help for Gotti, no help coming from his teammates at all. And when you don't have connector control, when you don't have catwalk control, where are you playing exactly on defense? You're sitting in a corner on the bomb site, waiting for SCARZ to make the first move. But you and I know that you need to attack from, again, either Connector or Aqua. PSG knows that too, yet do not set up in the right positions to have any sorts of counterplay, and Fishlight makes it look way too easy, just sprinting in and getting the freebie onto Gotti. It's time to wake up, it's time to change things up. SCARZ, they have absolutely taken control in those 3 rounds that they've won.
Yeah.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
What's gone wrong for PSG here? Their defenses on the first 2 maps look so much better. Is the Clash going to be the solution to that problem? Was banning the Hibana?
I do like it.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, yeah. A lot of ways that you can use this new reworked Clash. But also, this is a map with tons of verticality, and she's not going to be as powerful. She's not a vertical operator, right? You need to be facing someone to really get the most out of that operator. I'm also kind of questioning this triple hard breach. Maybe it'll work here where there's a lot of hard breaches, a lot of hatches on this map, bomb site. There's also the external walls. Maybe this is where it'll come into play a little bit more, but PSG realistically needs to get both of these rounds, right? In order to look convincing moving into the second half.
Gotta give credit to SCARZ, spinning Kaid, Bandit, Mira. It effectively counteracts as much as possible the Thermite, Ace, and Hibana ban. Now SCARZ can get through the walls. If Mira was left open, you slap a mirror window on the walls. Marek kind of sucks. Candle Drain kind of sucks. You can impact trick, C4 trick through that open mirror window. So strategically, I think SCARZ is just, they're prepared for this. They have the correct read on things. They got the pocket strats, of course, prepped for every single map that we've seen them execute on. Bank and Night Haven Labs, of course, finding much more success than that of Clubhouse, as the score tells. But again, I feel like we're just not seeing the full picture from PSG either. Yas having a terrible PS3 individual performance, and them going for these hard-breaching bans every single map, despite SCARZ not really showing much weakness to it. The Clash here, I said I liked it. I like it for this particular reason, but you are correct. There's a lot of verticality. Clash will be quite limited in where she can go on the map, especially when Mashoy's on Nomad that can lock off those potential flanks or doorways.
Well, credit to PSG. I'm pretty sure it was Misa who used an impact grenade to prevent that Rambugi drone from opening up any more of the floor. And if there was a little bit more visibility there for Rek, maybe he could get a better angle onto the Clash, but not to be the case. Speaking of Misa, this is quite a way to use the keeper barriers, constantly creating new bits of cover inside to contest. Choppy outside. Meanwhile, Ryder's gone for a big flank. He finds one, traded on back, but that could well be worth it. It's the Monty who's gone down. Hang on a second. Ayagaita catches Misa with his pants down on the bomb site, leaving just Gotti and Soldier. And that is the critical kill, because it's flipped this. It's not a 4v3 anymore. It's a 4v2, and SCARZ, they've got so many options about how they want to play this. A whole minute to go.
Swing out comes through, gets the injured down to a 2-on-3, but mind you, Clash is alive, one less gun on the board. You gotta get that shield planted somewhere. Help Gotti find these kills. Mashal gets confirmed. 50 seconds left. 2 Candelas, 2 flashbangs. Not sure about a Dokkaebi call. A wallbang takes down Gotti.
Oh,
Soldier to 1v3.
And how does he play it with the Clash in hand? Diffuser going out for Ayagaita, as is the flash. The Candela from the Ying. Cover from outside from Choppy is going to be difficult to contest. Soldier, gun up. Flashbang goes out. Ayagaita still in the room. This is a 3-layer of crossfire here, and it's nigh impossible for him to win this out. Another flashbang. He looks away. It doesn't seem to work. They know exactly where he's coming from. Every single player can swing him right now. He might be able to get a little bit of damage under Ayagaita, but every player will peak, and he will fall. It's a pretty devastating way for this series to end for PSG, who are down 4-1 on their defense of the deciding map. SCARZ have well and truly stormed ahead in this series.
This game has now turned into a mental game instead, because PSG Talon, if they count themselves out in mental boom, once they get the side swap, I mean, they're just not going to be able to push over the line. What they need right now is to compose themselves and stay calm and collected. If they get a second round on defense, then they buy themselves a parachute, right? They have enough wiggle room to make mistakes on the attack, but if they go 1-5 on the half, they gotta be, I mean, basically flawless.
They're just gonna check out if that happens, let's be honest.
Exactly, they're gonna mental boom, 100%. Like, it's bound to happen. Now, when they go on side swap, I will say Night Haven Labs, in my mind, quite attacker favored. I mean, there's a lot you can do in the map on the attacking side, and not all that much creative freedom on defense to like change things up. But if you're not confident, if you're not comfortable, if you're mentally, clocking out, that's not gonna matter a whole lot. So they gotta show us a final round of confidence here on defense.
We've seen Nuthaven played 3 times in APAC North. Do you want to hear the stats?
Oh yeah, let's hear the stats. Is it
All
super
right,
defender favored?
No, you're actually absolutely on the money. It's 65% attacker win rate, which is the second highest, only beaten out by Chalet, which has been played less. But yeah, Nighthaven across 31 rounds, it's a 65% attacker win rate. Obviously, SCARZ here are really going to demonstrate that. It does mean that PSG, if they get their second round of defense here, technically they are actually hitting par for the course for defense, potentially even exceeding it, arguably. So this could very much change the narrative if PSG can win this specific round.
The thing is, I'm the kind of stats guy where I'm like, I'm not too worried about the 4-2 in terms of like keeping pace. It's how they're losing the rounds. It's how they're failing to win them. It's what they're not doing in the server that gets me upset and gets me a bit like, that's not good enough. Because sure, a 1-5 can be a 1-5, but you can have close 1-5 rounds, you can have dominantly one-sided 1-5 rounds, and the version of PSG in this 1-4 situation means they're not going to win on attack because they're not putting in enough of a performance to actually win on side swap. So I want to see this final defensive round in the first half with a bit of confidence, a bit of fight back left in them, not really being checked out. A bit of a miss there from Rek. Very, very short range on the dash from the Blackbeard. He's going to be stuck in the corner, probably fearing a C4, but Soldier is hunting. Oh, there it goes, actually. Oh,
it's a hell of a lot of damage. Yeah, well, thankfully for that. But, between the fire and that Nitro Cell, Rekka's very low HP, which is not a good position to be in for the Blackbeard. Vulnerable to shots to the toe, or the side, or the hand, or the legs. So this is probably PSG's best shot that they've had yet. Like you said, they need to make these rounds close. Ideally win a couple, but close is definitely a big improvement over what we've seen thus far.
They have a spare reinforcement, but they got 2 open angles. Connector right here, and also on Catwalk Raptors. Nearsightedness still gets the kill somehow. Facelike's too good.
I can't believe it. Despite everything looking in favor of PSG at the start, they capitulate, and it's just Gotti and Yas. 5v2 here for SCARZ. A lot of players are low on HP though. It wouldn't take much for Rek, Ayagator, and Fishlike to fall. It's Washoy, the first one in the building. Gotti finds one, traded on back by Washoy. Yas with it all to do. That's a big double kill. Both of the players are low on HP. He just needs to land a single bullet. Needs to start shooting the feet here of the Blackbeard before the Blackbeard gets too close. He's surely going to win it now. It's one, but not the second. Rek will clutch for SCARZ in the 1v1. It's a 5-1 first half for the Japanese, just 2 rounds away from knocking PSG to the lower bracket.
Yas had the perfect opportunity to tell all the haters that I am good enough in this best of 3. I will win the 1 versus 4 and get us that second round that we need. Blackbeard, despite being put on 20 health in the beginning of the round, gets the final kill, wins the 1v1, and walk past the Toxic Babe at the final perfect second. If that hipfire bullet goes straight enough and just hits the toes, hits the leg, that might have been enough. Yas even faked out the melee from the gadget that gets melee priority. He played it perfectly until the final moment.
Yeah, wow. What a back and forth there. Yas really could have proved his spot in this series. It's been quite a disappointing performance from one of the most infamous Korean players. Back on his Damwon Kia roster, he had such a such a successful career, came out of nowhere to making majors and even contesting the best teams in the world. And then obviously was on D+ for a while as that team unfortunately started to go downhill. Joined PSG, well, he's been around the block a few times, but joined PSG. There's still so many achievements that guy has had. But now, I don't know, like this series has been a pretty bad red stain on his record. That would have been a big 1 versus 4, but not to be. Instead, it's a 1-5 scoreline. And I don't know, what's your take? You said that it doesn't matter so much the score as it does how close PSG are keeping these rounds. That wasn't particularly close, not until Yas found a couple of exit frags. It was essentially a 4v1. Talon only really got 1 kill before the round was effectively over.
it was not the round that we needed to see to gain back some confidence. Washar has built a bit of a fortress here instead of IT, looking for a spawn peak of sorts. The angle on the rooftop, the staircase. PSG kind of avoiding this for now. And there's only one spare Ryu in the pocket of SCARZ, so they are very much intending for this to be the angle in play. Now they see, guys, the wall is soft. Now it's open confirmed all the way. I like the SCARZ banning both the Monty and Deimos. Again, I think they've been really good at their operator bans. The reason why I say this, the Monty simplifies every attack and grants you, again, so much comfort in the server. That's a great removal here because you PSG are down 1-5. They want comfort, right? They want to get good in the server. Deimos, again, phenomenal target pick. The verticality, the tracking, the way you can get a lot of easy kills, especially on this top floor attacking round. Plus the grenades are now gone. It does leave open Blackbeard and Grim, which I would say are the two main characters right now, if anything. Neither of which, one of which is in play right now on the Grim. Now there's the Clash. And they don't have any self-destruction besides the Flores and the Ash charges, both of which can be tricked by Clash picking up that shield mid-animation and avoiding that self-destruction. This could just be a full-on chokeout by SCARZ.
No. Out the air jab comes. Misa finds one. The Clash will survive for a brief moment, but no, the air jab!
Oh my days.
Oh, beautiful pick apart there by Soldier on the Nomad. It's exactly what the team needed. 2 picks for PSG. Surely that means it's a done deal. What's going on here from Washoy? He's playing so aggressively outside the breach, just waiting for Soldier to swing him.
Soldier's waiting for Washoy to swing him first. SCARZ, they gotta be the playmakers. They're desperate.
Oh no,
the timing. They find Yasto. Grim goes down.
Another one though, and Soldier finished off. Surely not the 2v4 for Rek and Washoy. Misa and Ryder, the last to remain for PSG. It's a re-aggression for Rek that doesn't work out. 3k on the round for Misa as Washoy goes hunting for more. He's got 2 impacts in pocket, a flashbang in his face. He dodges it. They know exactly where he is, and they are encircling him. A 4th kill for Misa, despite Washoy finding a frag as well. It's a 4k for the entry frag of PSG Talon, and a round on the board for them, a much needed one at that.
It's incredible how close it can get after such a convincing opening 2k for PSG. The air jab's doing all the heavy lifting, right? First air jab gets the first kill practically. Second air jab confirms the second kill for sure onto the Clash. And that just strategically picked apart SCARZ. But then we see SCARZ's re-aggression, what they're really good at when they have to be. And they get the individual kills, they catch PSG off guard, and they find it back to that 2v2 scoreline in man count. Downstairs they're gonna go. Not gonna bother for a re-attempt. They got the castle, they got the Goyo. Nothing too cheesy right now from SCARZ though. This is a good old stable lineup. Rek, is he gonna be hiding in the corner again like on Bank? I hope not, because it wasn't all that successful. Just play the map, fall back in layers. PSG were a bit slow in that previous round. If you just stay alive and go back one room at a time, kill drone, fall back, kill drone, fall back, there could be a little PSG are just again gonna suffocate dealing with the whole map clear.
I'm looking back at the first half, Pengy, and SCARZ actually got the opening kill every single round. Every single round.
Everyone.
Every last one.
Man.
Misa got the opening kill that round. So it's been the attackers getting the opening kill almost every single round we've seen so far. Sorry, no, literally every single round we've seen so far. And of course, we've only seen 1 round of defense won in this game by PSG in that first half. Now that we go back down to the basement, of course, as we've talked a lot about the operator bans, right? It's a very different set of bans here from SCARZ, and it does leave all the hard breach available here. So Gotti jumps on that ace. It's a quick breach on the site, something that we didn't often see from SCARZ.
Located by attackers.
We have a direct approach on this one. The problem is, SCARZ have already shown this attack, right? The Aura, they then had the Ying and the Monty. Here we got the glass and the smokes. Since SCARZ have shown it, they also know how to counter most likely. They got Toxic Babes, they got C4, they got Warden, they got the Goyo canisters. PSG might be baited into a plant here where SCARZ might just have the solution in their pocket. Let's see.
Oh, Gotti is forcing that plant
halfway
down. Right next to the smoke.
75.
No C4,
No
the
response.
smoke is far too late. Yeah, SCARZ are asleep at the wheel on this defense. Washoy, though, does find the opening kill. The first time the defense finds the opening kill. Now that the hatch gets open, there's a flank opportunity for that defensive side. But Ryder, coming in from the other angle, finds his second kill. A big backstab here for PSG. Soldier also finds one. And maybe it is winnable here for PSG. Yeah, SCARZ, they don't have enough on this retake. I don't know what Choppy's been doing, but he's been asleep 30 seconds since the diffuser got planted, and he's simply going to bait. PSG will go hunting. They're starting to build that confidence back up after an absolutely pitiful first half on the attack. They are firing on all cylinders, and now they are only trailing by 2 rounds behind SCARZ.
Very convincing victory. PSG recognizing only one defender close enough to do anything about the plan attempt, and that A, defenders didn't know exactly where the plan was going down, and 2, they weren't there quick enough to actually do a damn thing about it. By the time the Toxic Babe went out, the plan was already confirmed. Good post plant, it's safe. They're covering the hatch above and garage. They got the Ryder getting the 2-piece on the cargo staircase. Nothing really went wrong there. Everything worked according to plan. But these are the kind of rounds that PSG need to keep on dishing out. 2 more times to tie us up, but they are building that comeback very slowly, round by round, and gaining also with that the momentum and the confidence. When you see the injuries popping off, that's going to be something like Misa and Ryder for PSG. That's when the team is functioning well. Again, if Gotti's top fragging, if he's getting the first kill in the round, either SCARZ are jumping out a window somewhere and he's holding the ankle, or the injuries are failing to get in successfully. Now, you cannot blame an injury player solely for not getting the job done. That's where we gotta look at the supportive players and their drone work. When we go back a couple of rounds to when Choppy was playing Hibana on the exterior beach, he was opening up the wall, hopping on the cameras, and telling his teammate, hey, the post is by the IT wall. If you jump in garage window and get a free kill, just go for it. So it's very much a dynamic between the support players helping the entries get the job done. PSG now, they can't just cheese their ways through rounds, right? That was a pocket strat and it worked. But sometimes that's not going to be an option. You gotta go for those regular default attacks, and that's where we gotta see them shine and be more consistent.
Yeah, and you were talking about drone work that needs to be paramount here for PSG. Those 4 of their drones that got destroyed during the prep phase, by the way. That is a massive failure. I remember way back in the day, I think it was Fabian did an interview with Get Flanked. Do you remember Get Flanked? He used to do a lot of...
Yeah. The Pro and the Potato.
Yeah. Absolute legend. He used to do this series called The Pro and the Potato where he'd interview pro players and get some tips from them. Fabian was showing Get Flanked some drone spots, and he said at the time, with your team, he said, if my team loses 1 drone in the prep phase, that is a lost prep phase. We have failed it. In the current meta, you could argue that there are some situations where it's worth it, if you're spotting people for Deimos or you're playing into an attacker repick. But PSG have no excuses for losing almost all of their drones, 4 out of 5, in that prep phase.
Is that risk versus reward? But look at this, 3 drones left in the round. Blackbeard on 1 HP from that C4 earlier on. Information gonna be hard to come by for PSG, but OC4, damn, takes away half of Yas's HP. PSG can of course assume where the players are. Prone on the catwalk door, gets a bunch of damage on Choppy, but he stays alive on catwalk rafters. Soldier goes down.
Yeah, good jump in there from Yas. Much needed. Doesn't matter if you don't have drones, if you can win these fights on the exchange, on the engagements. Gotti does find yet another big, impactful kill. Fishlike, he's managed to sneak back up again. I don't know how Ryder has fallen here. The 2v3 still control on the top floor from SCARZ. But I think Fishlike is going to fall on back. He spots 1 player, Misa goes down! That could be the turning point for the round. Gotti does find 1 through the floorboards though. Waishoy finished off, making it a clutch situation for Fishlike. He's moving up, back again, through Aqua, through Blue. I think Yas seems to be aware of it. No, it must have just been a guess. He was playing their position. He doesn't know where this last player is. And this might open up the gates here for Fishlike. Especially if that Rambugi drone is activated. There's no way that these attackers will hear him. He's right upstairs. They start hearing him. They look his direction. Fishlike, you got to win this fight. He does. What? The last player can be denied, but Gotti flicks him off the plan. Swipes his head clean off. PSG are mounting the comeback thanks to some unseen heroics from Gotti.
As I was saying, if Gotti, the support player, has to land those kinds of kills, in the round. Something is going wrong. You said it right. This kill right here on Tabisa on Garrett's door, that could be the turning point. As you finish that sentence, got you through the beams, gets a kill. Yaz had what seemed like a really easy gunfight upstairs, loses out somehow, immediately. And what should have been a guaranteed round loss is Gotti flick, hip fire, mid ADS, gets the one-tap headshot. SCARZ call a technical timeout. 1, for their sanity right now, take a breather, it's okay. And 2, to talk about the final operator band rotation to figure out how are they gonna close out this final map in a best of 3. It's been a Sami being banned with the Thermite, so heart breaching a little bit more difficult now. Notably because when you put down those mute jammer on the exterior walls, you can just repel on the Thermite and it circumvents the whole thing. With Thermite being banned and there's a mute jam on the wall, now you gotta do verticality or bring secondary EMPs. This is gonna force PSG into a more flexible operator lineup and just limit them a little bit more on the attacking rounds to come.
Of course, they can always bring an Ace or a Hibana instead to achieve, in theory, the same outcome, but like you said, they do need to deal with those mute jammers somehow. Oh, yeah.
If they bring them, actually.
True. Here's Hibana teased out. But the other big thing for me, I'm thinking about with that Thermite is, well, guess who just got a big 3K in a 1v1 clutch? It was Gotti. What operator was he playing? He's playing Thermite.
That's just like when you play Vayne. Who got a 3K the last round? Flank it, ban him. Who got the 3K next round? Gridlock, ban Gridlock.
Talk about 3Ks and talk about clutches. It's actually the second time that PSG have clutched around on this attacking side. Yeah. They've won 3 in a row, but they have been extremely close. And SCARZ, obviously, they only need 1 defensive round to find match point. And, of course, that is series point as well. We're on to the 3rd map. It's been a hell of a long series. We've also seen a 1v1 from Rek on their attacking side as well. Very narrow margins separate these two teams.
Makes it all the more worth it that we are on the 3rd map and we had an overtime on Bank. It just means that, again, like the series deserves it. We gotta see who is the better team, and it's gonna be a long day for the winner because you play again later on, right? It's gonna be one of those, if you go a long first series and the second series also goes the distance, gonna be a bit tired by the end of that one, that's for sure. PSG opting for, as I said, a more flexible lineup. They bring the Thatcher now to deal with the potential mutes and whatever other gadgets. They bring then a lot of execution tools, right? The Glass, the Ying, and the Blitz. Not the Aurora this time in the basement, but all the same, very fast and very lethal. They're gonna pop the fire, pop the smokes, and go right on in.
Oh yeah, it's rush time, baby. But Gotti is in hot water, or hot fire, I should say. Feeling that pressure, eventually will be taken on down. It's the Vert from above. Washoy will finish him off. Everyone from PSG has fallen flat. This rush has not panned out. Soldier had no impact on the blitz, and Yas was not really given a chance. He saw one person run by him, and he didn't even land that kill, just did a bit of damage. Actually, I don't think he did anything because it was Fish-like who ran past, and he's still full HP. So quite a disappointing execute there from PSG, and it's kind of a one and done. You know, you lose that, you don't even get a kill, and the round is pretty much over.
They must not have seen enough operators in prep phase, because if you see a Warden and you go for a smoke plant like that with no real coverage, I mean, you're not going to survive.
You see Warden and you decide, okay, let's bring Ying, Glaz, Blitz, the 3 operators that Warden directly counters. That's a great idea.
And there's plant with no protection for the Ace, who's just in a corner, not even in the smoke, by the way, at that point. It's... I'm going to assume that PSG didn't have the full picture and just kind of went for it anyway, because it's 50-50, right? It might work, it might not. They have a good read here, baits the corner, they jump in or not, but there's 3 people waiting.
Oh my god.
Okay. Alright.
Well, SCARZ got hands.
Well done, SCARZ.
They are the king of the rush. They know how to deal with one.
Yeah.
What a shame of a way for PSG to let it slip onto match point, by the way.
Yeah, the thing is, you gotta respect the fact that they had the confidence to go for that play, knowing the risk as well as the reward. SCARZ called a technical timeout. Things are being slowed down. They're talking strategy. They're talking counters. They're gonna set up for the future, right? PSG go, okay, we're gonna break this whole pace. You're gonna slow it down. We're gonna speed it up, catch you by surprise. If it works, it is absolutely genius from a mental game perspective. And you tie up 5-5. If it doesn't work, you're down on match point. SCARZ, to big surprise, although they did do this on Clubhouse as well, they went bar. Now they're playing Kitchen. Again, one of the worst defending bomb sets in the game, but there is one thing that kind of pulls this back together.
Clash is open, and they're hiding the operator on the bomb site, proning inside a freezer, because that's the whole win condition. And if PSG, they either expect the clash or they see it with drones, they're gonna pick the right counter operators like the Nomad, the Capital, the Kali in this case, for example, as well. And Clash is not gonna have a good time. Clash has been successfully hidden, and PSG has gone away from the Nomad instead onto Finka and Blackbeard, trying to force gunfights instead. But what kind of gunfight do you get against the Clash? Not a fun one.
Yeah. By the way, 3 drones taken down in prep phase, including that one that was shot by Washoy outside.
We're drone watching.
Yeah, just keeping an eye on PSG's drone economy. Especially when you're attacking an unusual bomb site, you need to have drones because you need to be like, you can't make any assumptions, right? It's an unusual bomb site. You need to check everything. Where have they put their goo mines? Where have they put their Valkyrie cameras? What walls have they reinforced? What rotations have they made? Let alone actually droning out players. Speaking of, Ayagate is actually going to find an early kill roaming downstairs. I'm not sure whether Ryder was outside the building when he died just then, but it was right after a Finka charge, so it wouldn't be surprised if he was trying to make a play. Bit of a sad way to lose the opening engagement, though.
We see SCARZ, they got information up above, they got a Clash down below, they have different win conditions and possibilities of making a play, bit of damage onto Misa, a lot in fact actually. Here's the Ram, can do technically ranged soft destruction on the floor by tossing out those boogie drones, but if a C4 goes out, C4 goes out, takes him down. 3 players left, this attack has already fallen so flat. Challenging the vert once more. SCARZ, I mean, you can sit back in corners, or you can just keep on challenging because you are seemingly winning every gunfight right now.
Yeah, I think it might be over here for PSG. It was a great showing on Clubhouse and a valiant effort on Bank, but here on Nighthaven Labs, they were down 1-5. And despite a couple of nice clutches on their attack half, you need to have a little bit more substance. It was only a matter of time before SCARZ found themselves in a 5v3 on match point.
What's the saving grace here? I mean, SCARZ need to overheat. They gotta make a mistake somewhere. They gotta go for a bad gunfight, but they're being so disciplined. They're all safely playing in corners, where there isn't any soft destruction. The hatch still reinforced, by the way, with Selma standing, or Ace rather, standing right next to it. Does he have 2 Selmas left? No,
he threw
they've been
one
spent elsewhere.
I think he did throw both of them. Oh, hello! Blackbeard just jumps straight on in. Direct crossfire. He falls. Gotti and Yas are surely doomed to die now. It's been a long and arduous series for PSG, but this is the end of the line. Yas, in particular, has struggled today, and SCARZ have risen above. It might have been a slow start to the stage for SCARZ, but here they are soaring again. A big 3-map, arduous victory over the Koreans. Books a date with D+ later today.
So impressive from the mentality from SCARZ and Clubhouse into Bank into Nighthaven Labs. And again, I really want to praise them on the operator target bans. They had such a good read on what operators to ban on both the defense and the attack side. And I truly think it has to be one of the big reasons why they stayed so consistent in this series. They never had any massive problems in the server because they kept banning the right problems away from them. They kept the series in a surprising fashion because they had a slow start, but they really started ramping up.
From 1-0 down the series to win it 2-1, SCARZ have not just weathered the storm yet. Of course, they still have another match coming up later against D+, but until then, we'll break it all down on the couch.
Thank you very much for that, gentlemen. Definitely an entertaining match, I will say. SCARZ really bringing that back from the clutches of despair on map 2 as well to make this a little more enticing, have a little bit more of a leg in this game in the playoffs. And PSG Talon, unfortunately, no matter how hard they try in that second half, they can't bring back a 5-1 deficit. What an attacking labs that was, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, bringing back that kind of deficit is always a rough challenge. I mean, not completely unprecedented, but very, very difficult. And SCARZ, as kind of alluded to by Nick, not just labs in isolation, but over the course of the entire series, did a really good job. I think their prep work translated in towards the server, things like the vans, etc. were obviously really well played. And yeah, look, some concerning signs for PSG. SCARZ obviously walk away with the win. I'm not ruling out either team from being competitive towards the tail end of this bracket, but certainly SCARZ finding themselves in quite a positive position off the back of this result.